Well, hello everyone. I was waiting for the theme music to start, but it looks as though I'm okay now. Welcome once again to the Coach's Corner. And this time we will be once again bringing you live coverage of the 2002 FIFA World Cup on the Coach's Corner. Once again, just reminding you to please like the video and subscribe and, just keep on track of the click the bell button for notifications. Happy to bring you coverage of this tournament, of course. And this is the third match of today between the USA and Wales. I do have a guest in the studio, and I shall welcome him.
Hi, you're right.
Good. How are you?
Long time no see.
Yeah, too long indeed. So, obviously, I will share the team news right now, courtesy, of course, of our dear friends at BBC Sport. Sometimes they can be a little bit inefficient with regard to their own team coverage, but they do as well as they can. And this is, of course, the team news. It will be the USA against Wales. So they'll be playing a 4-3-3 today, and some recognizable names, of course. Matthew Turner. Second choice, Aaron Ramsdale at Arsenal, but first choice for the USA, and he, of course, will be starting. Serginho Dest, Tim Ream, Walker Zimmerman, and Anthony Robinson will comprise the back four. We still haven't heard the anthems, which is a shame, but it is what it is. We have the experienced Weston McKennie and Tyler Adams in the center of midfield, who will be captaining today. And Yunus Musa, of course, who is a former England youth international, along with Christian Pulisic, who's had a somewhat up and down season at Chelsea, followed by Timothy Weah, a relation, of course, to the legendary George Weah from Liberia, and Josh Sargent, who will be comprising that front three line together. So the likes of Brendan Aronson from Leeds, Ethan Horvath from Luton Town via Nottingham Forest on the bench, also Carter Vickers and DeAndre Yedlin too, and should be certainly an exciting game. Wales, in contrast, are playing with a 3-4-3 formation with three centre-backs. And instead of playing as wing-backs, we have Neco Williams and Connor Roberts, who will be acting as part of a four-man midfield along with Aaron Ramsey and Ethan Ampadu. Chris Mepham from Bournemouth will be starting, along with Joe Rodon and Ben Davies. And, of course, the three-man front line will comprise of Harry Wilson, Captain Gareth Bale, and Dan James from Leeds, by way of Fulham, that is. And some good talent on the bench as well. The likes of Kiefer Moore could come on and play. Sorba Thomas, as well, has had a good season with Huddersfield Town, could be expected to start. We see Adams and Bale exchanging pennants right now, and we've got the referees lined up as well. And interestingly enough, Bale is wearing an armband which says no discrimination, which is a sort of a counteract to the One Love armband they weren't allowed to wear. And so this is going to be it should be quite an interesting start. So tactically, I want to get your opinion. It's a 4-3-3 against a 3-4-3, and we've seen 4-3-3 formations certainly today come up trumps against any attempts to play three at the back. But instead of being used as wing backs, Williams and who's the other
Roberts,
guy?
Connor Roberts.
Yeah, Connor Roberts. Right. They will be used as more of midfielders. So how do you see this one playing out? Who do you think might have the advantage over here? There's a lot of youth on the American side, but obviously the Welsh side has a lot of experience in the form of Bale and Ramsey, and of course, Wayne Hennessy, who's been expected to perform, but a lot of people have been plumping their preference for Danny Ward instead. What do you think of the lineups? Who do you think might impress so far?
Well, I'm interested to see how Wales do, mainly because of the midfield too against USA's midfield three. As you know, I'm a Spurs fan, so I see little 3-4-3 versus 4-3-3 against us every week. So Wales is back if they're 2 or 4, depending on how far in the other two, not so wing backs as you described them, play. If they play a bit further in, I think Wales had the advantage. If they play a bit further out, I think it might be a problem. Especially because, I don't know, do you know Weston McKennie, plays for Juventus? Yep. He's been linked with us for a very long time. So I'm intrigued to see how he does as well today. But,
and so
I think did you? I'm assuming you watched the England game earlier, right? Didn't you?
No, I watched the second half. I couldn't watch the first half because I was busy. And the teams are about to kick off right now. I believe the USA will be attacking from left to right, and they've just kicked off. Have they kicked off where you are?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Excellent. So we will
We're on the
be
right
on
time.
commentary. Yeah. And it's always good when we're in sync. So that means we can do some
I
commentary
know.
and I can get your. Yeah. And so it is Walker Zimmerman who has the first throw in, and he throws it out to Tim Ream from Fulham, who's had a good season, obviously. He's been their club captain and has been at the heart of their defensive displays, obviously in front of ex-Arsenal goalkeeper Bernd Leno, who is not in Die Mannschaft. Serginho Dest, of course, who has been on loan at AC Milan from Barcelona. And I think it's fair to say that he's dodged an almighty bullet by leaving Barcelona on loan.
They seem to be playing. No, the three are very close together for Wales. But anyway.
You mean the three defenders or attackers?
No, the strikers, sorry. I should be more specific.
Oh, yeah. So it's basically Wilson, Bale, and James, yes? Yeah. And Ramsey, of course, in that midfield.
I don't know how much knowledge, because I say this in a bad way, but so Keeper Moore's been a regular for Wales in the qualifiers. So yes. I was listening on the radio on the way back from where I was earlier, and apparently it was a very big surprise that Harry Wilson started over him today.
Yeah, I think Kiefer Moore, probably being a bit of a taller target man, might be asked to come on later on in the game, sort of playing the sort of the big target man role. Greg Berhalter, of course, former US international, now coaching the team. And so far, the US have had a pretty fast start, but Wales have held firm so far. Having said that, the US have managed to keep most of the possession in. So the likes of Neco Williams and others will have a big role to play. And that was sort of, Rodon made that mistake, but Davies was there to, clean that up. And I do like the US team jerseys because you can see the numbers and names very clearly indeed. And obviously there, Rodon sort of getting into more mischief over there.
But what I say most about this game, Manny, is that, or people watching that, I think a lot of these players for the clubs they play for have a lot to prove in terms of just their worth, and that makes sense. Like if you look at someone like Joe Rodon, who's on loan from Tottenham to another club, or Pulisic on the US side, because he doesn't get regular game time for Chelsea, they have like a point to prove, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Wayne Hennessy as well has only played 2 cup games for Nottingham Forest, but he is very much first choice now, having won it back emphatically from Danny Ward, who is on the bench. And a short free kick, which is well dealt with, but the US still have the ball. And interestingly enough, the left side have not really been able to get much of a sniff of it. So neither Neco Williams or Ben Davies have been able to do very much. And I'm sure you might be interested to see how well Ben Davies will do.
Oh, yeah. I know it sounds weird, but I'm actually quite happy the World Cup's happening now.
Why would you say that, mate?
It's just a break from watching Tottenham for a few weeks.
Yeah, and are you also going to be quite happy that Emerson Royale isn't in the squad for Brazil?
It's a good break for him, I guess.
Yeah. And so that's kicked out by Hennessy. Yeah. And a lot of the criticism of Hennessy is that for all of his excellence with regard to shot stopping, he hasn't really been that good with his feet as Danny Ward would be. But so far, he hasn't been tested. And Pulisic now down the right, but Connor Roberts evading that danger quite well. And the US have a corner, and the US do look quite sharp, and they could very well be a team that could, if they do manage to qualify for the second stage, it will surprise a few nations. But of course, it'll be probably at the expense of Wales, because I know it's only against Iran, but England do look red hot.
They do like the best team in the group on paper, England. So.
Yeah, but that Iranian team, of course, has had a lot of political upheaval. And obviously losing their goalkeeper very early didn't help. So it is Christian Pulisic with the corner, a right-footed in-swinger in the 5th minute with 4 minutes having elapsed. And that is headed away by Chris Mepham from Bournemouth. I know that my friends at UTC IAD will be very, very interested to see how well Mepham plays, and they'll be hoping that Kiefer Moore comes off the bench as well. So,
is he that Kiefer Moore? I'm right in saying he's the Bournemouth player. Or am I getting confused with someone else?
Yes, he is. Both Mepham and Moore are playing for Bournemouth, and I actually did tell them that Mepham will be starting and Moore will be on the bench, and I'm actually working a lot more closely with them.
Because I thought the first person I thought of was him. Because I speak to him quite often.
So I want to shout out their channel, of course, and you will catch me doing a series called World Cup Cherries throughout the duration of the World Cup with the boys from UTC IAD, and just keep watching us. Some good defensive work there from Williams, little innovative use of the back heel. And will that be a Welsh throw-in or a US throw-in? It is a Welsh throw-in. So
Rush, yeah.
Neco Williams has he made his name at Liverpool as well, but also
I
moved to Nottingham
remember.
Forest this season.
Yeah, I remember.
And back pass there from Tim Bream to Matt Turner, who was able to deal with that quite well. Passes it to Tim Bream, who can continue on his attack. And of course, I will be posting the link on the chat. So if there are any more of you who want to come on at halftime and have your say, by all means do so. So I'm looking forward to this watch along. It should be a cracker.
Also, I have to say, for people watching, it's a lot nicer watching countries play sometimes rather than your team because it's less stress. Like, I feel like I enjoy it more.
But you could say that, but being the British patriot that I am, Wales are my second team.
All
so
right.
Obviously, for this group, it will be England over Wales, but Wales over everyone else.
Oh, fair enough. I actually have a US brother-in-law, so yeah. So this group's quite awkward.
So yeah. It is awkward in many ways, and of course, Iran being in this group adds a lot to the political flavor. But I don't want to discuss that. Now's not the time. Now's not the place. So far, Tim Ream has done quite well in defense, and now he's able to sort of build from the back. But some good work over there from Williams. Yep, and the linesman sees that, and clearly McKenny doesn't want to.
Very interesting hair, I've got to say.
Yeah, he's dyed it obviously in the Stars and Stripes colours, so you can see that the US directive has been to sort of have a quick start, but Wales have held firm, and you can see how fast they're running. Unless Robert Page is able to stymie that effectively, Wales could be in for trouble. Of course, when it comes to experience, Hennessy does have over 100 caps, and he probably deserved on the balance to start today, given his outstanding performance in the playoffs semi-final against Australia and of course Austria and against Ukraine, obviously. 9 saves in that match.
France, Australia, I think it's tomorrow. I might be wrong. But I think
France, of course, have been very badly weakened. They've lost half their midfield.
Nkunku as well was a massive miss.
Nkunku and Kimpembe. So they've got a patched-up squad. And I'll be interested to see how Matteo Guendouzi and William Saliba do in that squad, definitely.
I mean, Saliba's been insane this season. So.
He has, definitely. And the US are trying to continue on the left. It is with Robinson now, I think. Back to Zimmerman now from Ream. And so far, there hasn't been too much of a deviation in position. So it's back with Tim Ream, wearing the number 13 jersey, the same jersey he wears at Fulham.
Is that Hanno?
Robinson,
hey, Hanno.
Yeah. So, Hanno, good to see you, son. And how has your accounting thing been?
I'm done with accounting.
Accounting? Oh, is it studying for school or something?
School.
Yeah. I did accounting for A-level, so.
It is, of course, another attack right now, and Pulisic is on the ball, but some solid defending this time from Chris Mepham.
Pulisic.
I get it, Hanno. Pulisic makes you sick. So, and by the way,
what do you mean he's playing well today? I think he's playing well.
And by the way, Hanno, it's pronounced Pulisic. It's of I want to say Yugoslav origin.
Same thing. Just.
Long ball.
Sent forward by Serginho Dest all the way to Timothy
Oh my
Weah.
God, what was that?
Excellent pass. And a sort of an attempt at a head there to try and back pass that. It had to take a reflex save from Wayne Hennessy to stop that from going in. Hennessy was caught unawares there by Joe Rodon. And it's all happening right now. The USA are on top of Wales, and this is some rather desperate defending. And Joe Rodon looks to be a bit of a culprit right now.
Everybody told me I shouldn't make.
Excellent cross there from Tim Weah. And it was a sort of a bullet header back at Tennessee, who was really caught unawares in a way. Ooh. And he had his near post guarded, and obviously Josh Sargent coming in over there, trying to cause some trouble. And the US looked to be on top in these first 10 minutes.
Everybody told me the US are bad and shite. If they win this game,
they're playing England on Friday, right? Is it USA?
Yeah, Friday. So that's going to be a real game.
That's an open game based on what I've seen so far.
Yeah. Back with Serginho Dest trying to battle Harry Wilson. So it looks as though it's Wilson on the left, James in the middle, and Bale on the right. Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
And Serginho Dest again trying to build something. So the US actually have a squad of good players, and Dest in particular has been very impressive for AC Milan since moving there on loan from Barcelona. And as I've said, he's dodged a bullet by leaving the Blaugrana, who are really in all sorts of problems. They might not even qualify for the Europa League second round.
I've got to say, what I've most been impressed with the USA is that they have a defined style of play. Clearly,
they do.
Yeah, and it's like as in that you can tell they've been drilled and worked on a lot. And considering with national teams, you find I think that unless we're talking like the really top players, like the old Spanish team back in the day, they don't seem to have a cohesive like style all the time. I think.
I get that.
Like,
and
they
we
might
see
have
a
a lot
sort
of
of
quality players, but yeah.
Yeah, we see a battle going on right now between Serginho Dest and Neco Williams, and Dest has now been sent into the booking quite early on. Clearly, the US are really snapping at Wales's heels, and Wales have to try and find a way to get into the game. If they can do that, they'll be fine. It is Ben Davies who is standing over this free kick. Short pass to what looks like Ethan Ampadu. Yep. And it's back with Joe Rodon, who has looked a little bit shaky so far in his first World Cup appearance.
Yeah.
And back with Hennessy now, who can sort of calm proceedings down. Back pass to Rodon, to Mepham. Back to Rodon, back to Hennessy, who this time says, enough's enough, I'm sending it long. And Dest wins that header, but sends it out for a throw-in.
I feel like I'm watching a bit of Tottenham, actually, with Wales right now. The way you described it straight away was like back to the keeper, long ball, and then yeah.
Well, thankfully it's Wayne Hennessy and not Hugo Lloris who's
playing. Oh yeah, we'll find out tomorrow about Lloris.
Yeah, I mean Lloris and another dreadful foul on Williams, who seems to be a marked man. And this time it's Weston McKennie who's in the book. So, obviously they've been playing well and snapping at the Welsh heels, but this is a very risky game, and so far Williams seems to be trying to get the measure of the US midfield, only to, end up being hacked down, scythed down, if you will. And McKennie is, of course, in the center of midfield, but on the right, how he's come to the left, obviously that sort of fast style of play means that they're trying to sort of interchange, really. Haven't seen much of Yunus Musa as of yet.
Well, have a free kick now, so we'll see.
They do. And obviously with two bookings, the US could very well be on thin ice. So I think Berhalter's going to have to tell his men to calm it down. Otherwise, they could lose a man or two. But it is Harry Wilson who will be standing over the free kick. Left-footed in-swinger.
If the US wins this game and they get second place, I'm fuming. Because so many people told me, no, the US aren't going to qualify, they're bad.
Of course, as an Arsenal fan, I'm torn between Aaron Ramsey, who may no longer be for Arsenal, but still very much for Wales, and of course Matt Turner, who, as I said, is second choice to Aaron Ramsdale at Arsenal, but very much playing in this World Cup. Trying to find the man there. Headed into the penalty area, but that should be cleared quite easily. Only as far as Dan James, who tries a speculative shot, and that goes over the bar. Actually, that was Ethan Ampadu who had that shot. My bad. But some very colourful Welsh support. And, yep, it was Ethan Ampadu who tried that, and that was never going to trouble Matt Turner in the goal. So clearly, Page shouting instructions to his outfielders to try and, make sure that things stay calm. Interesting sequence of play here. Goal kick by Matt Turner. Deep into the Welsh half, but headed not quite clear. That is sort of headed back towards Mepham by Ramsey. And interesting passage of play. Sees Bale leap and completely miss that.
Who's number 6 for US? Sorry. Who's that?
Number 6 for the US is Yunus Musa, the former England youth international.
He's really good from what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously come into the team and is now playing quite well. And obviously, when he comes up against England, that will be impressive. Also, watch out for another former England youth international, Jamal Musiala, who will be playing for Jamal Musiala, who will be playing for Die Mannschaft. And just Sargent over there, but brilliantly won off him. But once again, some sloppy play, and Wales not playing to the whistle. There was a man down, but they've lost the ball. Serginho Dest all the way to Timothy Weah, back to Weston McKennie, who's trying to find that pass, and he does, all the way to his captain, Tyler Adams. A little bit further back than Tim Ream would have liked, but safe enough not to cause any harm. Back pass to Matt Turner, who gets it to Zimmerman. And now Dest can try and start an attack. Or does he? Pass it to Adams, who passes it to Tim Ream.
That was a bit wasted.
And that was Altersky down, and Wales can win that. And do they start an attack at the moment? Well, the passing from Wales has been sort of sideways and backwards, not really been able to get into the game, but that's because the US have been able to press them very well indeed. And Hennessy has now had yet another touch on the ball, another back pass. Of course, in some ways, a bit of a... many observers have been surprised that Hennessy was starting today, but he's had one decent save to make and certainly saved Joe Rodon his blushes.
Yeah, you could say that for sure. Oh,
and that should go out of play, and that will be a US throw.
Oh, okay, Wales.
Oh, apparently it's gone to Wales. Yeah. So, thanks for correcting me.
Interesting. That's interesting.
I think it was probably Dest who had the last touch. So that is played by Ramsey, who
that was a great
crosses it up. Yeah, passes it all the way to Gareth Bale. And I don't know what Bale was trying to do over there, but maybe he was trying to send it forward. And yeah, the referee's not going to call a free kick for that, but the US are back underway.
Yeah, the US are underway. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
So far, very open.
Yep.
Nobody has seemed to have that lock on midfield. It seems.
I would say that. I would say the US have certainly been the better of the teams in terms of pressing, but you seem to be right in saying that when it comes to actual midfield dominance, it's not really been that much. And through Roberts' legs, but he clears that quite well. And it's with Tim Ream, who passes it to Zimmerman. And so Dan James looks to be a little bit isolated up front. I wonder if Page will bring on some more attacking options, but Dest controls that.
I just think for me the US are using the wings.
Better.
So they're switching this Wales team, and it seems like they going with a back five. Wales with two in midfield.
Well, from what I'm seeing, it's a sort of a back three with a five-man midfield. Harry Wilson has now come back into the midfield, so it's just the two up front.
I think they're just playing too deep, Wales. They need to push up.
They are, but the problem is they can't push up because the US have been pressing them quite well. But Pulisic now with the ball. Pulisic against Meppen. And they're appealing for a free kick, but the referee says... Yeah, they're appealing for a free kick, but the referee says no. We're going to take a look at that and see if the referee was right on that.
The VAR is active in this, right?
Oh, yes. VAR's been active.
Have they used it yet? I know something.
Of course. They used that VAR to disallow Ecuador's first goal.
Oh, no, I missed that. Sorry, I missed yesterday's game, so I don't know.
At the very end of today's game between England and Iran, that was used to adjudicate that Iran would have the penalty.
Oh, the penalty. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, which would sort of end the match with a goal. So no clean sheet for Jordan Pickford, but he has the win, and that's more than enough. And so this strategy of three at the back and four in the midfield and three up front has been a strategy well used by Page during the qualifiers. Obviously, he now has to try and look to see if he can't, see that transition. It has transitioned now to a 3-5-2, but he might potentially need to go to a back four if he wants to have some attacking impetus maybe later on in the game.
But do they have defenders to play back four? I don't know.
Well, they've got obviously Chris Gunter's on the bench, but he's more of a
right back.
Sort of a right back. And then of course there is Ben Cabango who can obviously come on later on in the game and maybe Ruben Colwill, perhaps. I don't know, but we'll see. It's with McKennie now, who's sort
And
of.
I don't write
And
off Lockyer.
one thing which I will credit Neco Williams for is that he has had his finger on the pulse of the game so far down that left side for Wales.
Cleaning it up.
Whenever the US have tried to, start an attack either through Dest or McKennie, he's cleaned up brilliantly. 20 minutes gone, no goals between the Stars and Stripes and the Red Army.
Bale's not got a sniff yet.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. And so that's the thing, because obviously when you play him up front, he needs to have the supply. But he is obviously trusted to take a lot more of their set pieces.
Yeah, of course.
It seems like in possession, they shift to a back four, and when defending, it seems like Harry Wilson drops into.
If they do decide to switch to a back four, then obviously Neco Williams can come in at left back. But at the moment, given his how important he is in the midfield, I'm not too sure that Page can afford to do that. One person who could look primed to come off might be Joe Roden, because in contrast to Ben Davies and Chris Mepham, Roden has looked a bit of a weak link.
And Davies, if they went to back four, Davies had to play at left back. I don't think he can play in the middle, can he? Really, for them? I mean, he can, but from my experience, he doesn't do well in the two.
No, but the problem is that Neco Williams would be trusted to play left back if they want to transition to a back four. So,
but
then international football's different. I saw Dyer playing the back four today.
Yeah, and after he came on, Iran scored both their goals.
Yeah, that says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, Dyer by name and Dyer by result.
I mean, my WhatsApp groups for Tottenham, as soon as Dyer came on, was like, England going to draw 4-4 now. That's literally the first thing I saw.
Yeah. And obviously, with Dele Alli's career having so irrevocably declined, he's not in action here. But they do have some decent replacements, obviously, in the likes of Ben Foden and Jack Grealish. So
I mean, I like
not
Foden.
Not Ben Foden, money, not again.
What?
You said Ben Foden again.
He meant Phil Foden.
Phil Foden. Oh. Why do I keep making that mistake? And some good work there from Ethan Ampadu to clean up. Phil Foden. I have to keep remembering that. Phil Foden. I'm getting an ear full fill of Foden. Whatever. Yeah. And I've also said in an earlier watch along with Eugene that more than Phil Foden, Lyndon Dykes from Scotland looks more of a dead ringer for Gaza.
I saw he did a watch along today for the England game. Yeah. Eugene. Yeah.
Yeah, he invited me first, so I came on. And anytime I get to come on and watch along with Eugene, it's always fun.
Yeah, I know.
Brings a lot more people. It's sort of like a Far Eastern style party.
Worldwide party.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Catch you later, Hannah. And pass from Tim Ream all the way to all the way up, but clearly Robinson wasn't able to get to.
I want this to be a 0-0 draw or 1-1 draw. That's it.
I'd like to see Wales win, but I'm not too sure that could happen. Maybe not yet.
I can see the US winning today, to be honest.
In the earlier game, though, we saw the Dutch team play sort of pragmatically in trying to make sure they didn't concede any goals. Yeah. And then, of course, later on in the game, they scored their first goal, 84 minutes. And then breathlessly late, it was Davy Klaassen who took advantage of another Edouard Mendy howler. So I think Senegal, if they're serious about progressing in this tournament, they're going to have to drop Edouard Mendy. I'm sorry.
Is he a Chelsea keeper? Sorry.
Yep, clearly Hanno isn't too happy right now. There was another tweet on Twitter which said Tuchel should be given a medal for turning Edouard Mendy into a world-class goalkeeper who would win the Champions League and the AFCON.
But I mean, Czech brought him in, didn't he? Really, it was Czech's choice for Mendy.
Yeah, and then Czech left, so that pretty much puts Mendy's form in check, if you will.
The irony. Yeah.
Yeah. But so when the Czech left, Mendy's form was kept in check, and there was no way to check the form of the team.
I saw the interesting thing about the Dutch is when I look at old Dutch teams compared to this one, it was very different. Obviously, they had the wing backs again with Dumfries and was it Daley Blind? Sorry,
Daley Blind. So it was.
And then they had I forgot his name now in midfield. Gakpo, that's it, Gakpo.
Yeah, Gakpo was pretty much a key player of their midfield, but I also thought that Dumfries and Blind really caused a lot of problems.
I mean,
Their back
Dumfries is
three
very
of
good.
Van Dijk, De Ligt, and Nathan Ake did really well. So
Ake suits that a lot more than the back four.
Yeah. They also played the debutant goalkeeper who was 2 meters tall, and he had a more than decent game. So USA now on the attack, and that is once again headed away. And will Dan James be able to clean that up through Ben Davies? Yes.
I thought it was very
And
interesting.
That's out of play. That's out of play.
The Dutch strike force was ex-Spurs, Bergwijn and Janssen.
Oh, yeah.
So I saw that. I was like,
but neither of them scored, of course, and I think Bergwijn and Janssen were both subbed, so that brought on Memphis Depay and a few others. And after the subs, after Memphis Depay came on,
he made a massive
the Dutch
difference.
had that impetus in attack. So
I think he's available in a free transfer. I might be wrong. He's got a year left or something.
He might be. I don't know. We'll have to see. And once again, we see Wales pressing, and already there are a few Welsh substitutes warming up. I'm not too sure Page looks too happy with the way, the team has been, not allowed to really press that hard. But maybe that's their style of play. I just don't know how long they can last trying to soak up all this American pressure.
Yeah.
But
like I said, I feel like I'm watching a bit of Tottenham.
Yeah, so
it's like this.
Ampadu passing it forward, but at the moment that goes for a throw-in.
Does Bale move to the middle, or is it just the way? Okay, maybe it's just the way it is.
He's actually sort of playing up front in the 2-man strike force along with Dan James right now, and that's sort of how it's transitioned. So I'm gonna keep refreshing and obviously take a look at the formations here. Yeah, no real change, I'm afraid. And Kiefer Moore will obviously look to try to come on later on in the game, if in case Wales are able to get a few balls in. But
also with him, because they're playing it so long, they need a target man really to hold the ball up and bring the others into play.
Absolutely. And But now we see an impressive, promising passage of play. It is with Bale now, who gets it to Ramsey, who is unable to control that. Certainly with his dyed hair, unrecognizable from the youngster who won our hearts at Arsenal. And
I actually really like Ramsey.
A few FA Cups.
He's a quality player,
Yeah, of course. I mean, there'll only be one Aaron Ramsey, and of course, he'll always be remembered as the guy who popped up with winners in 2 of our FA Cup finals.
Yeah. But also, he was more of like a person coming from deep to score goals, I remember. Not as in he played deep, but as in like a...
You could say that. I mean, obviously now with the way our midfield is with Xhaka and Odegaard and Partey, I don't see Ramsey finding a role back in. But Sargent in the penalty area, not able to get through. And Wales can perhaps clear. But has the referee decided to award a free kick? No, he hasn't. So it's back with Dest now to Timothy Weah. Pass it all the way back to Walker Zimmerman, to Matt Turner. So Turner certainly hasn't had much to do right now, had a bit of a quiet game. It is now with Yunus Musa, who certainly, as you said, looks quite good with the ball at his feet, and he's now running, sort of trying to turn the Welsh midfield and defence sideways. So Gino Dest with a speculative shot, which might as well have been a field goal in the wrong sort of football.
What I'm impressed with about Musa is his very good ball carrier, and he knows what pass he's going to make before he's going to do it, sort of thing. That's what I've noticed.
So I suppose obviously with Bukayo Saka in the team and other midfielders, Musa might not have found a place. Saka, of course, scoring 2 goals today, and
he plays in midfield. I mean, I would have this guy for me. It sounds probably is a bold thing, and Hanno's on this as well.
And what the hell was Rodon doing there, trying to
put him into trouble?
Seriously. Once again, Joe's having a bit of a shocker here. I mean, he very nearly was dispossessed by Timothy Weah and trying to plead his case, but clearly, falling on deaf ears. So, it was a risky
I preferred Musa to Mount, but I'm not a big Mount fan. But yeah.
Well, I mean, Mount did start today, and he was also part of that attacking, display, and that's been intercepted by Harry Wilson. Neco Williams trying to run with it, and the referee doesn't award a free kick.
Out.
But Yeah, I mean, it's basically so far that three-man midfield of the USA with Musa, Adams, and McKennie have shut down Neco Williams and company very well indeed. So
It's
four at
very
the back looks,
Spurs-like.
yeah. So it looks
It
as
reminds me a lot.
yeah, so it looks as though Page will have to try and transition to a back four. If he doesn't want to play Neco Williams at left back, then maybe he'll have to bring on another defender.
Oh,
But some terrific interplay between Dest and Adams. It finds Sargent, who passes it back to McKennie, who gets it to Musa, and Musa still continues to carry it well. It's with Robinson now, but Ampadu is able to half-heartedly hack it away. Bale heads it. It's now with Bale. And so far, Wales have been made to look very clumsy indeed in the way. But somehow Wales win a free kick, and that comes to nothing. So more than half an hour gone, and the USA clearly looking the better team, but with no goals to show for it yet.
Give me a minute. Let me just check something. The lineups. We have. I mean, Joe Allen could come on, I guess. Or something like that.
I believe Joe Allen was almost ruled out of starting today. If he's fit, he should be able to come on, though I don't know. And obviously, Brennan Johnson, who has been in good form for Nottingham Forest, should come on later. Why he wasn't picked to start today, I will never know. I certainly would have had him over Dan James, definitely.
But it's interesting you say that because obviously Wilson's dropped further deep now, so.
Yeah, so I would replace Wilson with Johnson, definitely, and provide a little bit more fluency to the game. But at the moment, Wales are having to defend. It is with Robinson now, who passes it to Timothy Weah across the field. Dest has now moved up further down the right. And it's back with Timothy Weah, Tyler Adams, the US captain, Walker Zimmerman.
How can you support a rival? Oh, I don't know what that comment's about. Okay.
I mean, I don't know who that question is directed to, but I will answer.
Yeah, I know. I'm quite confused.
Yeah. Pulisic back to Zimmerman. And so, the man marking from Wales has not really been the best because the US have been able to find their men. Ream now. Back to, of course, Zimmerman to Dest. To Timothy Weah, who has certainly looked lively down the right, as has Dest. The interplay between those two has been really impressive. Back to Ream. Pulisic now. Rather cynical foul there, and that should be punished with a booking from Mepham. So clearly, Pulisic did not like that one bit, and the referee has sort of told Mepham to sort of cool it. So far, he hasn't booked Mepham as of yet, but he has booked two of the US players. So, sort of.
Support sign. How can you support Wales? Is that what you saw? I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. And Wales, the US should win a corner. Mepham once again denying Pulisic across, but Hennessy's going to have to work hard here again because another defensive blunder could see the US come in. So it is Pulisic with the corner, another in-swing right footer. Let's see what happens here.
Oh.
This time it's sort of swung all the way out and it's headed away. Only as far as Robinson, though, who passes it across the field to Pulisic, who can run. He has Musa on his left. Aims across inside, but once again hacked away. Back with Tim Ream. Musa now with the ball. Certainly looks very, very good with the ball indeed, as you say, has. And Pulisic again. Still can't get the cross in, and this time it's Connor Roberts who shuts him down. So Wales are hanging on for dear life, and the US look very, very dominant indeed. And one defensive mistake could prove very costly, you could say.
I think the issue is the midfield. That's where they're losing the game completely. Like the three of the USA three have control of the game. McKennie, Musa, and the other guy. So I've got his names.
Yeah, McKennie, Musa, and Robinson.
Robertson.
No, Robinson. Tyler Adams, the US
Tyler
captain.
Adams.
Robinson's the left back.
Yeah.
So you do have a point there, Haz, and obviously now that it's a 5-man midfield, it does look a little bit clumsy because Harry Wilson has dropped back deep, as you said. So I would look to replace Wilson with Brennan Johnson, provide more of a cohesive midfield. Let it be a 4-3-3. If you want to stick Williams at left back and bring a left midfielder on, that would be the best thing to do. So Pulisic now, he's going through. Way is unopposed, and it's a goal for the USA. Timothy
it was coming. It was cooking,
it was.
as they say.
I mean, his legendary relative never really was able to play in the World Cup for Liberia, but Timothy Weah, what a story. Neco Williams, who's had a good game so far, wasn't quite able to get to intercept that, and the Stars and Stripes are jumping for joy. So, okay, so ball watching there. Roden once again not able to get his man. A distance there between Weah and Neco Williams. No real chance for Wayne Hennessy, who tried to make himself as big as he could. Sort of went down the wrong way. And the US are now 1-0 up.
The three of Wales, the centre half, they pushed up too much. I think that was, and then they just lost their men completely. I don't know what happened there.
Yep. So this is going to be a test for Robert Page. What does he do? Timothy Weah on 35 minutes, who has now put the US 1-0 up. And clearly Joe Roden himself looks off the pace. He might be primed to be taken off later on.
Oh, okay. But, now they're pushed up.
Now Wales are responding, and Williams is now with the ball deep in. And is there a crossover there? No, too high, too far for Gareth Bale, and that will be a US goal kick. So Timothy Weah there on 35 minutes.
Before the commentator here made a comment on ITV, I was going to make a comment about George Weah, but they said it already. So, yeah.
I did mention, though, that Timothy was a relative of George Weah. Yeah. I don't know if it's George's son or nephew, though. So I will have to, really work on my own research. But it is what it is. And in contrast to Wayne Hennessy, who has now had a save and a few passes and has now conceded a goal, Matt Turner hasn't really had that much to do. So this is going to be a big test for Robert Page. What does he do with his boys?
Does he shake up the formation? Appearances, has he done well for Arsenal, Turner? Or?
He's played 4 games in the Europa League, and we've been unbeaten. So probably a shaky start against FC Zurich in Switzerland, but he only conceded a penalty, and certainly looked a little bit better as the game went on. The more games he's played, the better he's looked. Hasn't made any silly mistakes. And, when Ramsdale came in for him when he was injured, we lost to PSV Eindhoven. So maybe time that we could bring Ramsdale into European competition. Another back pass from Roden, and Hennessy is able to clear that safely enough. Finds the head of Tim Ream, and it is with Weston McKennie, but only as far as Ben Davies. And you can see right now that with Ramsey coming into the midfield and being swarmed as well, the US have been able to effectively mark Wales's midfield out the match. I think they would call it double teaming.
Yeah.
But, Destin and McKennie have been booked, so they probably will have to curb their enthusiasm, as it were.
Oh,
I haven't watched the program, of course, Curb Your Enthusiasm, but
I have watched it. Yeah.
But of course, if you're a fan of Seinfeld, you will enjoy Curb Your Enthusiasm.
The Seinfeld's very good,
including the episode where everyone eats sweets or chocolates with a knife and fork. And a poor foul there on Yunus Musa, and probably Gareth Bale is appealing to the ref, saying it wasn't me, but. The ref says, sorry, Gareth, sorry, son. I saw everything. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. So
it definitely was Bale.
Yeah, and, that's good vision from the referee because obviously his right foot was able to ended up catching Yunus Musa there, claiming he got the ball, but the referee saw Bale's foot coming into it. So, and Page isn't happy with that, but You know,
Oh, he plays for Valencia. Sorry, I was doing some some research on Musa there. I didn't know he played for Valencia. Yeah.
yeah. Tim Ream now. Pulisic now has it. Actually, that was Robinson, but now it's with Pulisic who has it.
Oh.
Running once again in, but cut off by Ampadu. But Pulisic is able to get it back again, and Hennessy puts a stop to that. So it's actually George Weah on 36 minutes, so I'm going to have to change that ticker as well. I do not want to be inaccurate in any way.
Like, Wales responded after the goal, but they don't seem to have enough bodies when they attack. As in the middle of the park, they don't seem to have anything. Yeah.
Agree. And the midfield does look a little bit clumsy and cumbersome, perhaps. So Page is going to have to freshen up the squad with a couple of substitutions. I certainly wouldn't bring on Kiefer Moore as of yet, but Brennan Johnson has been in great form for Nottingham Forest. I'd like to see him come on. As for midfielders, if Neco Williams ends up playing at left back, then certainly the likes of Lockyer or even Sorba Thomas can come on. Thomas has been in really good form for Huddersfield Town. So he can certainly come on and add a new dimension. At the moment, it is in the US half, and Ramsey's trying to get something out of it. Pushed off the ball by Tim Ream, who is able to clear the danger. And it is now with the US captain, Tyler Adams. Passes it to Ream, all the way to Musa. And that is once again intercepted. And Wales can... And every time Wales are trying to sort of clear their lines and try and start something, they find an American player. But can Bale get on the end of that? No, Tim Ream has the measure of him. And it is now, of course, with Pulisic. Again, through to Musa. And some good footwork there from the US. Adams now with the ball. Timothy Weah. And... Right, so probably the pundits on BBC are discussing, the inclusion of Harry Wilson today, and obviously Wilson being more attack-minded has not really been able to, lend that solidity in midfield that Wales would need, and Wales have been overrun.
Remind me, is Harry Wilson still at Liverpool? Or am I thinking of someone else?
I don't.
Oh, that was probably his worst pass of the game. His first mistake, probably, from Musa there.
Yeah, so. Now it is with Wales, and Dan James has it. Neco Williams has also come up. I believe it's pronounced Nico Williams or whatever, so I'll have to, watch it. Once again, another back pass all the way back, and Hennessy comes all the way forward to touch that to Ben Davies. That goes to Roden, Mepham, Roberts, Roden. Back to Mepham, back with Roberts. Finds Ramsey, who hasn't been able to get himself into the game either. And it's back with Ramsey.
Oh.
And the referee chooses to play advantage. And it's a nice interplay there between Ramsey and Bale. And Wales with a corner. So a chance for Wales to try and...
Must be their first corner.
It's Wales's first, but the US have taken a few corners before.
No, I meant Wales' first corner. Sorry.
Yeah. So with about a minute and a half to go before halftime, could this be the chance for Wales to find a way back in? It will be Harry Wilson to take it, an in-swinging left footer. And we all know about Gareth Bale's left foot.
Well, he's not taking it though.
I know, it's not Bale. It is Wilson who's taking it, not Bale. But Bale will probably be entrusted to take a penalty or a free kick. Free kick, that is. So.
What happened there?
The US will organising itself. And Ramsey being given a talking to. Something going on right there. The corner will have to be retaken. And we're going to see what's going on here. The referee obviously not taking any nonsense from anyone.
yeah, exactly what I thought as well.
Abdul Rahman Al Jassim from... floated in nicely, but headed wide, and that will be a goal kick. So At least the US have been able to Wales have been able to come into the game rather, and once again they're showing highlights of the goal. Brilliant through pass from Pulisic, and maybe Hennessy could have made himself a little bit bigger, but Weah sent him the wrong way, and the US, of course, are 1-0 up. So, how do Wales respond? Well, a lot of talk has been about the fact that a lot of the Welsh players haven't really been able to get quite up to full match fitness, but obviously some training has been done and they've been trying to sort of get back in. They just met their match so far in a US team that has really overrun them in the midfield. And we're going to find out how much time there is. 4 minutes added on time right now at the end of the first half.
A lot less than the England game at 14 in the first half.
Less.
And
much
10 in the
less.
second.
Yeah.
It was a bit crazy.
Yeah, it was.
But of course, we had the incident. We had the incident with the goalkeeper. So, yeah.
Of course, Berenvand obviously suffering a dreadful injury, and the replacement goalkeeper for Iran being on a hiding to nothing. But the US are not letting up. It's Pulisic right now, receiving that pass from Robinson, passes it to Busa. Tim Ream now, who gets it all the way to Zimmerman, Dest, who certainly enjoyed the best of possession. Zimmerman, back to Turner. Passes it to Tim Ream, and I think now in these last 3 minutes they're going to try and calm things down, but Wales could perhaps sense an opportunity to get back into it if they can get an opening. But so far the US defense has held firm. Of course, this is considered to be Wales's golden generation, but I think it's fair to say that they probably peaked in 2016. Of course, the likes of Bale and Ramsey are a lot older now, Hennessy as well. Chris Gonte isn't even in the team these days, but still very much an important part of the squad. So, and several of those other players have retired. And another cynical foul, and could we see a booking here for Chris Mepham?
Yeah.
Yes, we will. Mepham was warned by the referee.
So many problems. Sorry, Pulisic has caused them so many problems today.
Yeah,
because he's coming inside and outside, and obviously, I think he's putting a lot of pressure on the centre halves as well as like the wide player, whoever's playing on that side as well for Wales.
Al Jassim is in fact a Qatari referee, so there is some involvement from the home team here, and finally, another Welsh player goes into the books. And this has been a very frustrating first half if you're a Welsh fan, because obviously the team has looked very static, a little bit, I would say, almost clumsy. And Robinson isn't getting that. That goes for a goal kick. And with 1 minute to go before stoppage time ends, clearly Robert Page has a lot of work to do.
He doesn't look very happy. He doesn't look very happy at all.
Nope. And a lot of work will need to be done when Wales play Iran later on, because Iran also look to be a quite dangerous team and they could take advantage of you if you're not careful. And certainly the game between the US and Iran will be interesting. I wonder if that could potentially be the game which, seals America's path through to the second round.
I think USA England's looking like going to make a very good game this Friday.
It could very well be, and how Southgate will be able to counter that. This powerful quick midfield will be interesting. And let's not forget how well Serginho Dest has played so far. 3 seconds to go before the end of stoppage time. And playing it back amongst themselves, Dest to Zimmerman, to Ream. Certainly the game, Canada's first game, will be very interesting. I'm looking forward to watching that. And the referee has, in fact, blown the whistle on the stroke of 4 minutes. So at half-time, it's Timothy Weah's goal, which separates the two teams right now. And Bale has not been able to...
game.
Bale has not been able to get into the game. And so far... Wales with it all to do. And I'm going to put the link in the chat, people. So if any of you want to come on and have your say, The link will be in the chat. I'm also going to go through quite a few of the comments over here, so you're welcome to come on and have your say, but let me start from the very beginning. Okay, so let me just play some of these chats. True Guna, thanks for joining in. Hello to you. Craig Malloy, wonderful to see you, mate. And Bellingham should be preferred at Arsenal to Mykhailo Mudryk, who does look to be rather expensive. Ensman TV, Liverpool fan, big up to you. Thanks for joining in, brother. Ishank Bangarwa, all the way from India. England look good today, but they will inevitably get locked out. Again, the link's in the chat if any of you want to come on in and join us. Vamos, USA with the US flag. Chelsea fan once again, thank you very much indeed for joining in. Captain America could save the USA, keeping the like button. And Mendy went from a complete unknown to FIFA goalkeeper of the year to a genuine liability in the space of 3 years. How the mighty fall, how the mighty fall. And Kepa cleared Mendy just now. Del boy, what's the crack? What's the bleeding story? And Dich Mlen Cymru, come on Wales. Yeah, Del, the link's in the chat. Do come in if you click the link. You're backstage. I will let you on. APK cut the M Kumran. Del boy, disappointed how you can support a rival. Well, listen, his team is the Republic of Ireland. They're not playing in the tournament, so it's obviously a UK British Isles sort of thing. And yeah, he supports. Yeah, exactly. And listen, to answer your question, APK, it's sort of a British Isles thing. If more than a few teams win the tournament, we support each other. Is that sort of thing. Obviously, when we play against each other, it's back to our usual loyalties. Del Boy's a proud Irishman. I cheer for England, so it is what it is. Captain America on fire. Yes, Chelsea fan. We've got a Canadian fan here. Chris Mossing, otherwise known as Foot Moss Sports Talk. Respect for CONCACAF and the champions when. And also Canada beat USA in qualifying. Weah is far less talented than the mighty Jonathan David. I'm sure you would have loved to have seen the US and Canada come up against each other in this tournament, but we will see about that. No Brendan Aronson and no Brennan Johnson. So the two Brennans are on the bench, but they could possibly be brought on later on in the game. I'm certainly expecting Brennan Johnson to come on ahead of come on for Harry Wilson, who's dropped deep and looks a little bit of a shadow. And certainly Joe Roden needs to be brought off. Yeah. Wilson, Harry. Athletes in CONCACAF. And of course, confirmation. This is the link on the StreamYard link. Please click the link if you want to join in. We will be having you. More than welcome to come and have a chat with us, have a bit of a chin wag, talk about the game. And obviously, we will be discussing quite a few of the highlights of the game. Obviously, second in this group to England and might have to play the mighty Dutch. Could very well be, Chris. That could perhaps be the case. So I know that you were on a watch along with Stephen Featley for Senegal against the Netherlands. And, that was also... it was a sort of a dour game at first, but it became enjoyable near the end. Typical Dutch mastery. And of course, Joe Roden looking completely out of sorts. Gareth Bale not able to get the service he needed. And the US are cock-a-hoop. So who do we have in the studio right now? Obviously, Luis Figo is still there. And
Luis Figo?
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I'm watching it on a different channel over here.
Oh, so right, okay. I thought you meant who's in the studio, with us, waiting or something.
No, not this studio. Yeah. I will find out who's in the studio. And pundits include Sol Campbell, Wayne Rooney, Robert Pires, and now Luis Figo, who will be commenting. I never knew that Figo could speak English well, but he's improved. And this is sort of an interesting new channel that's come up, and obviously they've spent a lot of money to try to get the broadcasting rights. But of course, back in England, it will be on BBC, ITV, terrestrial television at its finest. So,
sorry, I forgot you weren't living in the UK. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. And besides, I mean, if I had to choose between BBC and ITV, I normally would choose ITV because I like the theme music a lot better.
The coverage is good. It's good, actually, quite good tonight on ITV. I watched the England game on BBC, but we were in a pub, so I couldn't really hear the commentary anyway, so it wasn't a problem. Micah Richards is one of the pundits, though. I really like Micah Richards. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, but again,
Yeah,
with BBC, it's sort of the same old, same old. It's
yeah, I
Richards,
know it's nothing
Shearer,
like.
alongside Lineker, and I don't know if we're seeing Alan Hansen these days, but obviously someone else will be coming in. On ITV, it's an interesting lineup. I know that. So,
How Robson
yeah.
Kanu, Wales.
Oh, nice. Robson Kanu obviously is no longer playing for Wales. I believe he was dropped from the Euro squad, and since then, I
Yes,
think his career sort of wound down. So 24 touches for Timothy Weah tonight. He certainly looked very sharp indeed. And we're going to find out a bit more information about Timothy McVeigh.
to see how he's related to. Yeah.
Yep. And I know that George Weah sort of immigrated, if you will, to the US. And
I mean,
he is, in fact,
Wales
the
had
son.
little to no supply. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was switching the height.
He is, in fact, of course, the son of George Weah. So he'll have made his father quite proud. And I don't know what Joe Rodon was thinking, but if Hennessy hadn't have stood up and made himself big, that very well could have been a calamitous own goal. And Hennessy, of course, keeping his near post covered, but Sargent just missing. So the Sergeant wasn't on fire.
If we talk about Rodon, there's only on him on the ITV as well, how he pushed up and he left this space and then,
Yeah.
that's how they scored.
Right.
And then Weah makes the run, of course. But it's really, they're pretty much pinning it on Joe Rodon, if we're being honest, on ITV.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why he's out on loan at Rennes. He's not playing for us, I guess.
So Tyler Adams is, of course, playing for Leeds United, one of two alongside Brendan Aronson. And so far, he's done quite well as captain so far. Liam, obviously, providing that thrust in the centre of midfield. And I'm just about to talk about how Bale has had no real supply. And Bale has actually not really looked on the pace so far. But
so I have the lovely face of Roy Keane. I forgot to mention
that. Please do not mention Roy Keane. I despise Roy Keane with such a passion.
Is it because of Vieira versus Keane days?
Nope, it's a lot more than that, to be honest.
Right,
I never really considered him to be the right choice to captain the Republic of Ireland ahead of many other experienced players in that team. And yeah, so it's sort of, the first choice back four who's playing tonight for the US. A bit of a surprise that DeAndre Yedlin hasn't been introduced. Still 29 years old, 75 caps, a great deal of experience. Came to the fore in 2014 World Cup under Jurgen Klinsmann. And Bale tonight has had a passing accuracy of 50% with 15 touches. So he has looked a bit off the pace tonight.
Not the thing that people need to realize about Bale, though, he's not the same player he was, of course, 5-6 years ago. He's not got the same pace. So to get the best out of him, you need to he's almost playing as like a striker, but not a striker, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
nowadays, yeah. We're not going to get the Bale who gets the ball and just goes past like 5 or 6 players anymore.
Right. Not too much in terms of goals among the squad. Obviously, Pulisic is their leading goal scorer, but obviously Timothy Weah has scored 3, and now this is his 4th. And interestingly enough, the age difference between Timothy Weah and Josh Sargent, who are both in the starting lineup, is a mere 2 days. So,
oh wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. So, Weah is the younger one by 2 days. Both of them born in February. Sargent on the 20th and Weah on the 22nd. Both of them, of course, are 22 years old. And
they have a young side also, USA.
Very, very young indeed.
Yeah.
In fact, there are two. Musa himself is 19, actually. So he's been brought on to start and obviously will have a big role to play going forward. The oldest is, of course, Tim Ream, who's earning his 47th cap tonight and has been quite solid in the defence.
Good game. Good game.
Yeah. Adams is, of course, 23. Very young captain indeed. Probably the youngest captain in this World Cup.
I think also it kind of reminds of, the German side that was very good. What year was it? Maybe we're talking 2014, 20.
It was 2014, and that actually was filled with a lot of US-born but German-based players, if you will.
It really reminds me of that team. the early days, not obviously when they got to the point where they actually did it, but sort of like the early days of them playing that way.
Yeah, obviously with Klinsmann in the team, I mean, his decision to drop Landon Donovan and only go in with Josie Altidore
Landon
was really a
Donovan, that's
stupid.
it. Yeah.
In many ways that was a stupid decision, which was just fortunately vindicated with goals coming from elsewhere on the pitch. But Donovan would have made a bit of a difference there. But it is what it is, and I think hopefully Donovan and Klinsmann were able to patch up their quarrel, as it were. But
yeah.
But anyway, so far, I think it's fair to say that the game has
deserved it.
Yeah. Exactly. They've been dominant. They've been completely. They've so far outpaced, foxed, and outclassed Wales so far. And Wales, I think it's fair to say, are lucky to only be 1-0 down. So the idea that they could possibly, continue to stifle the USA will be very much fanciful. And certainly with the likes of Musa and Robinson and Dest and Weah running pulling the strings, Wales's midfield will have a lot of hard questions to answer. So I will be very interested to see what type of subs Page will make.
Yeah, I mean, because he could either reinforce the midfield, or he could, like you said, go to a back four and try and match them as a 4-3-3. But the question for me is, like, who would you put in that defense as a four? Because Wales are so drilled to play a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I watch,
there's also some commentary here from Jess Fishlock, who is a Welsh women's international, saying right now, with the way the USA are playing, Harry Wilson, Aaron Ramsey, and Ethan Ampadu in that midfield are too much. Wales did, of course, transition to a 3-5-2, but Neco Williams and Connor Roberts weren't able to be released. And those 3 midfielders effectively would have had to cover touchline to touchline, too much space, and no supply, of course.
Yeah, it's the lack of supply that's the problem. But it's like, how do you solve the issue without? Because at the same time, he kind of has to reinforce the midfield, as in win the midfield battle, and at the same time create more chances. So I guess unless they have like a playmaker, I don't know. Do Wales have a playmaker that I'm not aware of?
Well, I mean, they will probably want to bring on the likes of Brennan Johnson, I've said, who can certainly add some impetus to the attack. I would have started him. Kambango can come in defense and replace Roden, definitely. Sorba Thomas as well can, run quite well and whip in a couple of crosses with that right foot of his. I'm going to take a look at the Welsh lineup right now. I mean, the Wales squad right now to see who could possibly come on, because the midfield seems to be an area where they're, being dominated. Of course, Allen isn't starting today, but maybe he could come on. And the players are coming out right now. We could see the likes of Joe Morrell and Johnny Williams, or even Sorba Thomas coming on to sort of lend either some solidity, or in Thomas's case, a little bit more dynamism. Maybe Dylan Levitt could come on. Reece Norrington Davies has been a big loss. And it looks as though Wales are making a change. They've decided to bring on Kiefer Moore to, come on. He will be obviously replacing one of the strikers. It looks as though he could be replacing Harry Wilson, maybe. So I think Wales are in need of It is Dan James who's being replaced. I mean, I thought it would be James, and it is. So
I have to say, I'm very grateful for my work for letting us go out to watch the game earlier today. Yeah, so because obviously most workplaces were like, go out and watch the game, but
yeah. So interestingly enough, Page hasn't seen the need to make any changes to the midfield or the defense, which is a bit of a surprise because maybe now with Kiefer Moore coming in, it will probably be yet another two-man attacking force, or could maybe Harry Wilson and Kiefer Moore and Gareth Bale settling along the side?
Because I mean, Kiefer Moore, you'd imagine playing in the middle, but it might help them in terms of getting out because they don't seem to have sort of outlet to get out. I don't know.
And they've just kicked off with Wales attacking from right to left, and an attempt at a Welsh attack is sort of put aside. Yunus Musa now down the left,
Oh.
carrying the ball beautifully and winning a corner off Chris Mepham. And in discussion right now with Sorba Thomas, who looks a little bit nonplussed. Moore's first duty will be to use his height to come back and defend. Hennessy once again having to organize his defense and make sure that they don't allow anyone to get away. It'll be Pulisic once again with that right-footed in-swinger. And that is headed away only as far as Robinson. Weah now down the right. Passes it back to Robinson. And Serginho Dest is able to clean up. Pass back to Matt Turner, back to Dest. And we now start to see a little bit more urgency from Wales in terms of trying to win the ball. And Neco Williams can clean up there. So Anthony Robinson, number 5. Connor Roberts, number 14. And a pass through, and does it find Kiefer Moore? Yes, it does. So you can see the difference that Moore has already lent. Certainly able to hold things up, and passed back to Ethan Ampadu, who ends up losing that. But can he win it back? Yes, he can, and he wins a throw-in. So this is a lot better from Wales now, a little bit more in terms of urgency, and obviously bringing more on has meant that the attack has had to be rejigged a little bit, but it is, of course, still for now the 3-5-2, but maybe with another big target man up front, there seems to be a lot more purpose in the Welsh game plan here. Roden to Mepham. Back to Roden now. And once again, being double-teamed. Ampadu very nearly lost the ball, but Adams conceding a free kick there. So Wales take that quickly and start the process of trying to get in. And Ramsey isn't able to continue and attempted a sort of a quick turn, not really materializing. So now we see a lot more effort from Wales and a lot more urgency. And maybe if they had shown this much urgency in the first half, they wouldn't be 1-0 down. Long, speculative pass comes shot from Pulisic, finds its way into the arms of Wayne Hennessy. And Wales can break through Neco Williams. Ethan Ampadu now. Ben Davies to Roden to Chris Mepham. And throw-in conceded there by Tim Ream. So you could see that Welsh pressure is starting to pay off a little bit.
They're getting more of the ball.
Yeah.
But they must have been given a massive talking to at half-time after that.
Maybe. It's Roberts with the throw-in now, and it finds Kiefer Moore. Ramsey.
Oh, that was nice.
A little bit of a step over there, and Wales win a corner. So it will be Harry Wilson to take another corner, and Adams at the moment a little bit nonplussed, but we're going to see what comes of this corner, obviously. Wales with all of their experience, all of their caps, but behind now to this young US team. In-swing, left footer, and Turner spills it, but the defense can clean up. And I believe a free kick has been awarded for a foul on the goalkeeper anyway. So once again, Mepham in the thick of things, and Mepham will really need to calm down a little bit. You can see the corner being taken, and on first glance, it looked as though Turner had failed to get that. And certainly didn't look to be a foul on the goalkeeper to me, but the referee sees otherwise.
Oh, they're on the attack again, US.
Yep, on the
Musa.
attack, and it's Musa again into the penalty area. Very promising indeed, but some rather stout defending, for want of a better word, from Joe Roden. But it's with Pulisic, and now Wales can clear. So the defence have also gotten their act together for the most part, and that will be a free kick a ridiculous foul there from Tim Ream, and he will be booked. So we see now, obviously, trying to stop Gareth Bale from going through, and I don't think Bale will be brought off. And clearly, Robert Page is not happy.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Tim Ream over there. So far, you could say that Tim Ream was able to have the better of his Fulham teammate, who was, of course, substituted for Bournemouth's Kiefer Moore. But once again, the hard press from the USA, Anthony Robinson in this time, outstanding.
I don't even know the US manager that well. I haven't seen him before. Was he a club manager before? Do you know? Or
I know him as a former US international.
Oh, right.
I believe he might have managed at Fulham before. So, yeah, obviously now he's come back to manage the US team, and obviously he's done a good job with them. And a headed back pass from Ream to Turner, sort of averting any kind of danger. But Wales have now come back into it. And one thing I can say about Wales is that they will certainly try and fight hard. Connor Roberts, of course, cleaning that up, not letting Robinson get too much of the play there. But you can see the way it's sort of epitomizing the way the US are playing. They're sort of snapping at Welsh heels, whether it's the defending. This is sort of how you're supposed to play. Don't watch the ball, mark your man.
Just too passive in the first half. Now that, as soon as I said that. They were shouting, Bale, 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 the Welsh fans.
Yep.
Given away. It's back. The Welsh throw.
Mm-hmm. So you can see right now, once again, it's sort of starting to... It's settled down a little bit, but you just know that it's going to start back up again. Mepham back to Roden, who's looked a little bit better defensively, but obviously was a bit of a liability in the first half.
What was that?
And as I say that, he does something like that. I think it might be time to bring him off and bring Ben Cabango on, because Roden really has not looked on the pace tonight. Anthony Robinson with the throw-in. Only finds a Welsh head, and Wales can head that away. Some more head tennis going on, but Roberts cleans that up. A nice pass to Joe Roden, who gets it to Harry Wilson. And it's Williams now down the left. Williams against Dest. A very intriguing battle, and Dest sort of wins that one.
He's looked dangerous, though. I think he's probably Wales' best player, Williams, from what I've seen today. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I get that. But once again, Wales trying to make something out of it here. Mepham to Roden. And so back with Roberts now. I wonder what other substitutions Page could possibly make. Obviously, he might want to maybe add some impetus by bringing on Brennan Johnson. And as Jess Fishlock said, they have to find a way to try and release the wing-backs. Ethan Ampadu now, who passes it upfield to Neco Williams. Williams against Dest. This time, and Dest once again doing some good defensive work, but it only finds Connor Roberts. And the USA can break. It is with Pulisic now, who slips, and the referee allows the advantage to be played. They bring it back. Robinson to Zimmerman to Dest. Back to Zimmerman, of course. And it's back with Matt Turner. And the throw has been conceded, so a bit of a sloppy piece of play there from McKennie, who has looked good tonight. But
sorry, Mandy, were you in the sweepstake?
No, I'm not into that sweepstakes nonsense.
All right, okay, sorry. I didn't hear your name when I was watching it the other day because I got Switzerland, as in Hanno's one at least.
Yeah, but that's a through pass, and can Dest intercept? Yes, he does, and he concedes a corner. So I wonder who'll be taking this one. Apparently, it's a throw-in, not a corner. I think the referee is signaling that it's a corner and not a throw-in, but not very good vision there. But obviously, Wales wanted a corner, but they will have to settle for a throw-in. But it is what it is. It is now with Williams, who gets it in, couldn't find Bale, but Ramsey heads it back into the penalty area. Ream heads it away. Some more head tennis going on, and Wales trying to look for a free kick, but they're not going to get it, and they're going to have to start all over again. And Roden needs to be careful, because if he is intercepted, had he been intercepted, it would have been a one-on-one between Josh Sargent and Wayne Hennessy.
There's a reason why he was loaned out by Tottenham, and then people are seeing it now, I think.
Yeah.
Just not.
I would like to, I really do believe that Cabango should be brought on now. And Ream has that and concedes a throw. So Kiefer Moore has certainly looked impressive since coming on. And he leaves
For me, he's sort of acting like, not out, I don't know if outlet's the right word, but when they're playing it long, at least he's holding the ball up and letting the rest of the team come up further up. That's what I've noticed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it is now Connor Roberts with the throw in. Will it be a long throw into the US penalty area? Well, it certainly is not quite long, but long enough. But the US can break. The US have actually, in fact, been awarded a free kick. So obviously, Robertson has also been outstanding at left back with 3 defensive line breaks so far, compared to 2 for Yunus Musa and 1 for Serginho Dest. Ream to Zimmerman. To Dest. And Wales can try and attack now through Ramsey, but he probably let that sort of overrun him. Not the best first touch from the former Arsenal man. And the US can break through Sargent, but that was brilliantly tackled and won back. And it is now Neco Williams down the left. Can he put in a cross? It didn't quite find Moore, but it does find Connor Roberts. Moore somehow inexplicably headed that away, but it is with Williams now, trying to find his way through the US defense, which has sort of coalesced and come together. Chris Mepham. Connor Roberts.
Oh my God.
And doesn't find the man. So Bale was trying to get on the end of that and couldn't quite get it. But we're coming up to the hour mark now. We are in the 60th minute. And we do see a little bit of urgency, but not so much in terms of final product now. But the Welsh fans are still confident. Together stronger is their motto. And they're not going to give this up without a fight.
Because you could argue this is the game that will decide who the other team gets out the group is.
You could say that, definitely. But again, Iran, as much as they've been thrashed today, they will still try to fancy their chances against both the US and Wales, because they're going to want to try and make sure that they get themselves involved a lot more and try and be a spanner in the works. England do look impressive, but their qualification is by no means sealed. Ramsey gets it up front to Kiefer Moore, who was actually there was Bale who was onside, and Bale was able to head it back to Kiefer Moore. Nothing came of that, sadly, but it is with Ethan Ampadu now. Joe Roden. Ben Davies now. A crossfield pass. Does it find its man? Nope. Intercepted. But Wales can win it back, and they do win it back through Mepham again. Ampadu to Wilson, to Davies, back to Wilson. Sort of running around in circles there, but finally passing it to Ethan Ampadu. And it is intercepted, and Yunus Musa can start an attack. Passing it all the way to Christian Pulisic. It is back with Anthony Robinson, who passes it across field to Zimmerman. Back with Serginho Dest. Timothy Weah now, who has had a magnificent game. You could say he sort of fulfilled his father's promise in a way.
Oh,
what a story that would be. And a terrific step over there. Pulisic has it, but no penalty awarded. And clearly Pulisic is unhappy, doesn't like the decision.
Let's see.
But Weah once again causing all sorts of problems, and the Welsh
I
defensive line playing a little bit high. I wonder if that's going to go to VAR, but we are going to see that. But no, clearly Mepham clearly got the ball first. Excellent defending that. Mepham has looked good tonight. He and Davies have been impressive. Roden,
Mr. Roden. So yeah. Oh,
Ampadu now to Ramsey, to Williams. Doesn't quite find its man. It needed someone at the end, and that's, well, better to concede a throw-in than a goal kick. So good work there from Kiefer Moore.
And here we're seeing a replay of how Turner fell over when he took a goal kick. That's what I'm saying.
Yep, you can see the turf starting to get a little bit slippery.
The kid's reaction. Yeah, I agree with you. ITV coverage is better than BBC.
Of course, maybe not so much the commentary, but certainly in terms of coverage, I do enjoy it. I grew up listening to the late, great Brian Moore. Clive Tildesley's not necessarily my cup of tea.
Yeah. Oh.
And we do have could be a knock to Connor Roberts, and the referee has awarded a free kick. And clearly Pulisic is frustrated with the referee. So we're going to see this passage of play now. It was, in fact, Yunus Musa who collided into Roberts.
I've got to admit,
Musa clearly isn't happy.
Those sort of fouls are a bit, for me, I don't really always agree with them, because how's he going to get out of the way of that? The guy just ran into him.
Yep.
That's just my opinion, but yeah.
So the Welsh fans urging their team on. And this free kick will be taken also by Harry Wilson, with Bale coming in. Another left-footed in-swinger. Does it find its man? No, it's headed away by a US defender. And and a brilliant save that from Matthew Turner from Ben Davies. The Arsenal reserve goalkeeper, proving why he is America's number one.
And saving a Spurs header. Yeah, how ironic is that? And
yep.
And you got a Spurs fan with an Arsenal fan on the street.
Some good work there from Zimmerman to head that away, and Adam sort of heading that up.
It was a good save, actually.
It probably was going quite high, and it was sort of in Turner's line of vision, but that was still a really good save to make. It had to be made, and it's now Harry Wilson once again with a corner. He's been very busy tonight, and Turner finally making a save. And another header this time over the bar. So you can see that Wales is sort of starting to come back into the game, and Kiefer Moore's introduction has proved the turning point in a way.
He should have scored, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably should have. But let's just take a look at this one again. Yeah, sort of didn't try to attack that on the rise, but couldn't really get a strong enough header on that. And that was an important save. I mean, you could very well say that Turner had it covered, but that's a good save indeed.
It could have dipped at the end. That's the thing. Oh, make change for USA. Yeah.
Yep, it is Brendan Aronson who's coming on right now, and he is replacing Weston McKennie, who has probably run himself into the ground. Clearly looking a little bit uncomfortable. Aronson alongside Tyler Adams, the other Leeds United player in the American squad. But Wales are rampant and they're coming back. Adams can clean that up though. And yeah, so a few chats obviously, and I will come to all of them, but let's just let this passage of play be over. Pulisic. Across the field all the way to Dest. Aronson has now come in. Back to Dest. And that is allowed to run by the referee. And through Neco Williams, Wales can break again. Passes it through to Kiefer Moore, through their legs. Moore to Bale. But US win it back, and they can continue to attack. It is Aronson, of course, who leads the attack. And the Welsh defence says, not today, Jack. Back with Musa now.
I kind of agree with what Footmass Sports Talk's saying, because if you look at someone like Almiron, went to Newcastle, he's from the MLS, and he's been really good for them. Yeah.
Exactly. These players who come from the MLS certainly are of good quality. And it's nice to see a Canuck sticking up for an American player, but it is what it is. Weah now, and Williams obviously has run himself into the ground, and he's grasping his lower left hip, rather. Obviously, he's sort of knocked in there by Timothy Weah. So will that be a corner awarded, or will that be a free kick? Sort of kneed in the back hip there by Timothy Weah, but I'm sure it wasn't deliberate. And Robert Page doesn't like that at all. So let me take a look at the chat. Okay, Hannah says good night. We'll be back tomorrow for Argentina against Saudi Arabia. I will look to be there for that. And it looks as though another American substitution is being made. Acosta might be coming on. Chelsea fan says good night, Hannah. I say good night, Boet. And you'll be leaving too, Chelsea fan. Thanks a lot for coming on as always. See you next time. Yep, cannot believe the fending I have to do with Arsenal fans that Turner is good enough. I mean, Turner may not exactly be people's cup of tea, but he certainly isn't bad.
I think it's very difficult to be a second choice goalkeeper.
Lack of respect for MLS and CONCACAF deafening. Alfonso Davies is from the MLS. Adams, Aronson, Turner. Doesn't even like the US, obviously.
Facundo Torres.
Uruguayan linked to Arsenal is amazing too.
4 a.m. Argentina.
Yeah, so sadly we won't see Chris Mossing with us, but it is what it is. And now there's a break, so obviously there will be...
Yedlin. It looks like Yedlin. Yeah, it's one of the substitutions.
Yeah, and Acosta looks like he could be coming on too, so we're going to see. It is, in fact, Kellen Acosta who could be primed to come on. Neco Williams still receiving treatment, so the corner has been awarded, and so Wales have more defending to do. Riveting stuff. You do not want to leave your seat wherever you are. Pulisic with the corner. A right-footed away swinger this time. Hennessy off his line. And Kiefer Moore heads that away. Back with Pulisic now, who tries to cross it in, but again is sort of headed away. It is back with Pulisic now, but Bale is able to do some defending. No, he isn't. Pulisic wins it back. And yet again, the Welsh defensive wall stands firm. Another cross in, and finally, Wales can hack that clear.
But I do sort of agree with at this point in the game, Manny, they might need to go to a back four to add just an extra attacker or something, because it's going to get to a point where they need to get at least one goal to get something out of the game.
I agree completely, and thank you for agreeing with me on that one I said earlier. So, yeah, obviously the back three might not be working, but as I say that, Bale had an opportunity to find his man, but once again couldn't. Hasn't really completed all of his passes tonight, so he's looked a little bit lackluster. The question is, does Robert Page dare bring him off? There's an injury now. Pulisic is down.
I don't think so. I mean, it's Bale. He doesn't want to upset a nation. But yeah, I don't know. It must be Bale's last tournament, surely.
Well, a number of the veteran players in the squad have made it clear that they're not going to retire just yet. Obviously, Hennessy might feel as though he'll have a lot more to give. But, with the likes of Bale and maybe Chris Gunter, this could very well prove to be their last tournament, especially if Gunter is unable to continue playing club football. We'll have to see. And it looks as though Christian Pulisic will be coming off. And with about 19 minutes plus stoppages to go, how will this affect the US's play?
Oh, no, he's coming back on?
Is he, though? We'll see. Because there are 3 substitutes now, and that means the US will have made all 3 of theirs. And so this is where, Page is going to have to come in, because he's only made the 1 substitution in Kiefer Moore. He now has to bring on at least 2 or 3 now. Now is the time. Josh Sargent trying to win that, but this time Joe Rodon earns his pay packet. And it's Williams now who seems to have recovered. A brilliant attacking run, but once again being double-teamed by Adams and Aronson. The 2 Leeds boys combining. It is Aronson now. And it was with Serginho Dest, but Ramsey intercepted that quite well. And it's with Connor Roberts now, with Musa snapping at his heels. Rodon. Davies. Back to Rodon. And it's intercepted, and now Yunus Musa can run at the Welsh defence. He's got Pulisic on his left. He finds Pulisic, who runs with it, crosses it. Does he find the man? No, he doesn't. Both Weah and Aronson had run a little bit too far forward. But Wales can now try to start an attack. Finding a header away, but Anthony Robertson can clean that up.
I mean, Hannah won't agree with me. Pulisic has been brilliant for the US today.
Yeah. I think his biggest frustration is why can't Pulisic play as well for Chelsea as he does for the national team?
I think it's more to do, this is just my theory, Chelsea have like Ziyech, Pulisic, all these creative Havertz, let's throw off just off the top of my head, all these creative players, but there's no one who's like the main man. And Pulisic is like a bit part player.
And we're going to see a triple substitution right now. DeAndre Yedlin, who actually came into the US team wearing the number 2 jersey, will be replacing Serginho Dest, who has the current number 2. It will be Kellen
Musa.
Yeah, Musa's being brought off along with Dest and Sargent. And it will be Kellen Acosta, DeAndre Yedlin, and who's the other one? Haji Wright. And we see Kellen Acosta there sort of praying hard. And this seems to be a case of game management now for the US. It is Yedlin for Dest, Acosta for Musa, and Wright for Sargent. Let's see if these substitutions are in fact proved right. But no movement from Robert Page so far, and Page will need to start acting. Robert, you need to start acting quickly. Make some substitutions.
It's like telling the manager what to do. It's like me. I do that a lot as well.
No, yeah, because look, they're barely 15 minutes left, and as I speak, another US attack is sort of thwarted, but this time only as far as Tyler Adams, and Anthony Robertson can whip a cross in. That is, of course, headed away. And now we see DeAndre Yedlin coming into the team, been around the block for quite some time, been forced out of the first team picture by Serginho Dest. And of course, that was headed wide from Haji Wright. So Haji not doing quite right. You're going to get a lot of these puns from me.
Yeah, no, they're brilliant. I enjoy it, actually.
15 minutes to go plus stoppages. What does Robert Page do? He's already brought on Kiefer Moore for the start of the second half and seen the team look a bit more solid. But he has to do something, and this is where he can earn his bread. And that should go out of play for a USA throw, and it does.
I have to say, out of all the Welsh players, I think Nico Williams has been the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
he's
Wilson
given them at least something, like an outlet of some sort. Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know.
It is, of course, Yedlin now with the throw.
Does USA just look... I don't know.
I don't know. They've looked a little bit sharper. They obviously want to try to manage the game, but they also know that Wales can be dangerous enough. But it is Robinson trying to find Pulisic, but Ethan Ampadu doesn't take any chances, and he concedes a corner.
Monday night NFL to... Oh, okay. Caught the ball.
Sleep early tonight, but Monday night NFL tonight as well. Canada made him cry.
Is Canada tomorrow evening? Or is it?
No. It's I believe it's the
I'm sure they're playing in the evening, aren't they?
No.
Am I confused or something?
And that is sort of headed behind by Aronson. Obviously the corner found its man, but he wasn't able to connect properly, and Wales have a goal kick. So Page has still seen no need to bring on some substitutions, but he will need to try something, because obviously from what he's seen so far, he likes the way the team has responded, but there has been no real attacking impetus, so there needs to be a change, and obviously certain players are starting to feel the effects of having played a bit too long. Kiefer Moore, Williams, Bale coming into the penalty area. It is with Connor Roberts now, who finds Aaron Ramsey. Chris Mepham trying to chip it in, but that's headed away. And Neco Williams trying to keep that back in. That's also cleared away. And some good work there from Ampadu to prevent a breakaway. And we have another foul, and clearly Harry Wilson is not happy. Timothy Weah's on the floor. And the Qatari referee, who I'm sure speaks good English, is telling everyone, stop it, calm down, I'm in control here. And you could see that Williams stepped on Weah's foot.
Oh, there's a change, Brennan Johnson.
And the worst part is that will be Neco Williams' last action of the night. And he will be, it will be one club teammate for another. So a Nottingham Forest defender / midfielder off for the Nottingham Forest attacker. And I've been saying that Johnson should be coming on. I never would have imagined that he would be coming on for Neco Williams. So
also so late.
And how this will affect the shape, I have no idea.
I think he's just throwing the kitchen sink, as they say.
Yep, you could say that, definitely. So without that thrust down the left side, will Wales find an opportunity? Always a question.
I would have even been tempted to play Nico Williams higher up, because he was having the most effect for them. But
you
I don't know how you move that around. Like change to a 4-4-2 or something.
Yeah, you couldn't really play him higher up than, a midfielder, because obviously you've got Bale and Ramsey and Dan James and obviously Harry Wilson. And Wales can win a throw-in. I certainly would have brought on Ben Cabango for Joe Rodon. I don't know why Page didn't do that.
Unfortunately, some managers are very
conservative, yes.
Or stubborn, I was going to say.
Johnson keeps that in play, but concedes a throw-in, I would say. No, it is kept in play. Well done, Brennan. And now it's out of play for a Welsh throw-in, which is taken quickly by Johnson. Finds Ramsey. Roberts was nearly... And a penalty has been awarded. A penalty has been awarded. Now, the question is, will this go to VAR? Will this go to VAR?
You know what? On face of it, I don't think it's a penalty, but I'll have to see it a few times.
Yeah,
oh, no, it's a penalty. It's a penalty. It's a penalty.
I do believe, though, that I mean,
They got
Zimmerman
the
will.
ball
Yeah, but the problem is he obviously went
from
in
behind.
two-footed and caught Bale from behind. So that is considered in every way a penalty. I'm not too sure that will go to VAR because so he's been inactive for 80 minutes. It's now Gareth Bale to bring Wales back into it. And the Arsenal goalkeeper, Matt Turner, has already saved from one ex-Tottenham player.
Yeah, can he save from another?
Actually, Ben Davies is still at Tottenham, I believe.
Yeah.
Can he save this penalty from the ex-Tottenham winger? He's only missed 2 penalties so far in his career out of 11. And the hopes of a nation will rest on this man once again. He's delivered several times before. Can he deliver again? And basically the referee telling Turner, don't even think of trying to advance too far from your line. The Wales fans cannot watch. Turner's been second choice at Arsenal this season, but he has the opportunity to be the toast of a nation tonight. Can he save this, or will Bale come up trumps once again?
Oh, scores.
Beautifully struck. Yeah. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Gareth Bale, let's be having you. It just almost had to be. It was almost written in the script. And now the question is, do you believe Robert Page will bring on another substitute?
That's a good. Has he got one more change left or changes left?
He's got plenty of changes left. I mean, he's only brought on Kiefer Moore and Brennan Johnson. He's got 3 left actually. So clearly,
he could make 3 more for the last 10 minutes. Because I guess it would give them a bit more energy. But the question for us is, who do you bring on? I don't know the Wales squad that well, so.
No, clearly, I mean, you know, well, credit to Turner, who went the right way, and I think it was sort of past him before he could blink, though. That's a brilliant penalty, but it was close to being saved, mind you. And you can see the Welsh fans are jubilant, and the Stars and Stripes have been silenced. But Wales have to hold on. They cannot afford any clumsy mistakes, and Hennessy's happy to send that behind, sort of all the way for a throw-in. Not behind, but all the way up front for a throw-in. Yedlin will be taking it. And the USA will feel as though they've been robbed of a win, but they still have the bit between their teeth so far. Certainly,
with players like Pulisic still on, I think USA still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah. And that penalty is Gareth Bale's 41st Wales goal. Probably, definitely, I would say, his most important. The difference between Wales losing and avoiding defeat. And Greg Berhalter was, of course, delighted with the team leading up till this point, but you can never count out the Welsh, and the Stars and Stripes fans have truly been silenced, wondering what happens now. But there is still time. 6 minutes are left, plus stoppages. And I assume that there will be at least 4 or 5 minutes of stoppages. Up front by Hennessy. And a rather clumsy attempt at a clearance by DeAndre Yedlin. Sort of kicks it backwards in a way. Concedes a throw, which Wales will look to take. Any more comments? I will once again put the link in the chat. So if any of you want to come in and have your say, let's be having you. It is Davies to Mepham. Roden, rather.
I've noticed Keeper was playing on the right.
Hoping to find Brennan Johnson, and eventually Wales with another throw-in. So
sorry, Brennan Johnson's on the right. We're not Keeper. What am I talking about? Sorry.
So Wales are on the ascendancy now, but they've just conceded a free kick, and Kiefer Moore complaining that the free kick should have been in his favour. So once again, with about 5 minutes left, the link's in the chat. Please click the link. Come on in and have your say if you want. More comments. We want to hear from you.
But the momentum is with Wales, clearly. And I don't think the changes actually helped the US that much.
Yeah, obviously taking off Musa and others didn't really help, but Acosta can certainly play. He finds Anthony Robinson rather, and
but now Wales
some
don't
more
need
head
that.
tennis from Wales, but finds Tyler Adams, who's also had a great game, but Wales can somehow clear. But again, Aaron Ramsey loses it. And it is, of course, back with the US captain Tyler Adams, Zimmerman, Tim Ream, Anthony Robinson. Back to Ream, who sidesteps Brennan Johnson quite brilliantly. Adams, Yedlin. And so Yedlin made his name, of course, as a right back who could certainly swing in a good cross and certainly run down, but his cross was headed away. It's a US throw. And could we see the first draw of this World Cup? Or will either side manage to find a late winner?
I still think there's another goal in this.
Yeah, well, you said that Wales had the momentum, but the US are now coming back.
As soon as I said
stronger.
that. As soon as I said that.
Yeah. So it is now, of course, with...
I think they call it the commentator's curse.
Yep, definitely the commentator's curse. That was Timothy Weah who tried to get that, but... and Anthony Robinson getting into a tangle with Brennan Johnson there, hoping to get a free kick, but the referee says, sorry, son, it's not your free kick. This has been a good performance by the Qatari referee. Kept the game in control, kept the game in check. And
he hasn't really, so far at least, had to make like a massive decision, I don't think. But
not really, but Gareth Bale joins a list of John Charles, Eva Allchurch and Terry Medwin, World Cup goal scorers for Wales. And you could see the disappointment on the US faces right now. I love the videography being done over here.
Oh, well, US are making a change.
Yep, they've decided to bring on what could very well be another midfielder, and Timothy Weah has certainly run himself into the ground. Jordan Morris will be coming on in his place. Number 21 making way for number 16. The highlights of his goal, which put the US ahead in the first half. And can Wales find a late winner? Will the US perform a snatch and grab? Ramsey keeping that in, but Turner's able to claim that. Former Arsenal man keeping that in, but the current Arsenal goalkeeper claiming it. I'm glad you tuned in because obviously there is a lot of Tottenham interest in the Welsh team and also maybe not so
Arsenal
much in the US.
With Turner as well for you.
Yeah. It is Kellen Acosta now who passes it all the way to what looks like Zimmerman on the side. Can he cross it in? Nope, the defense is once again held firm. Yedlin trying to cross it in. Hennessy punches it away. Could have caught that perhaps, but maybe didn't want to take any chances. And Connor Roberts hacks that away. And he finds Kiefer Moore. A brilliant little back heel which finds Brennan Johnson. All alone in the penalty area with three people after him, but all he can do is shoot that straight at the Arsenal goalkeeper, Matt Turner.
End-to-end stuff, as they say.
Yeah, end-to-end stuff. It's all happening. It's all happening. A minute to go plus stoppages, and Brendan Aronson is fouled. And Harry Wilson concedes a free kick, and he looks as though he's in pain. You can see a lot of disappointment on the Welsh faces right now. I don't know if Wilson's already been booked, but if he has, this could very well be a sending off. Let me check and see.
We're seeing a replay of the back heel by Keeper Moore there.
Yeah, that was a brilliant little back heel there. And obviously, not really going to test Matt Turner from that angle, and all Turner had to do was make himself big. Fortunately, Wilson has not been booked, but he is down injured, so this could possibly prompt Page to make a change. And who does he bring on in the midfield now? Clearly, Bale is happy, and I think he knows how fortunate Wales are to be equal when it looked as though they were dead and buried. But this Wales team has a lot of fight in them, and it's a privilege to watch them play.
They never give up. Like you said, was it together?
Together stronger.
Together stronger, that's it.
And it will be Sorba Thomas from Huddersfield Town who will come on just as normal time elapses. And we're going to see how much time will be added on. Right, so it looks as though there will be
9 minutes.
Yep, because there have been that many stoppages. So more than enough time for either team to find a winner, more than enough time for there to be a hero or a villain. And it looks as though it will be Sorba Thomas coming on for Harry Wilson.
I have to admit,
is it
so far this World Cup, in terms of added minutes, it's the first time I've actually seen games where they've put enough minutes on the times that's been wasted.
Yep.
If that makes sense. Because in Premier League games, I find you don't get enough minutes of times that was actually wasted.
Yeah, sometimes you don't, but you also have to consider that whenever there has been time wasted, the referees would normally make up for that. And certainly in this game, there have been more than a few stoppages with the fouls and so forth. The referee certainly has been in control of this game, and 9 minutes looks adequate. So we cannot relax here. We cannot relax. And especially given Davy Klaasen's breathlessly late goal, which sealed it for the Netherlands, there is no way either team can afford to relax. The US look fresher. Pulisic into the penalty area, but that is cleared away. Tyler Adams now. Will he shoot for goal? Nope. Pinball. And that is cleared away. The reason why I said pinball is because it went off one Wales defender onto another. And we have another one down, Ethan Ampadu. So Page now needs to be a little bit more proactive. I don't know if he's made a substitution yet. I don't know if Sorba Thomas has come on. Ooh, a real meaty clash there between, Zimmerman and Ampadu there. And the substitution is now finally being made. So it's Harry Wilson being brought off and Sorba Thomas from Huddersfield Town coming on. One of my friends happens to be the owner of Huddersfield Town Fan TV, and
I thought you meant he owned Huddersfield.
No, I mean on the channel.
Oh right,
on YouTube. So this is going to be quite a landmark for him and also for Huddersfield Town. They were supposed to have 3 people at the World Cup, but Yuta Nakayama had to withdraw with an Achilles injury for Japan. And of course, Michal Helik was not selected by Poland. So Sorba Thomas is the only Terrier in the squad, and he comes on with 2.5 minutes of stoppage time being played. So 9 minutes could very well become 10 minutes. Wilson receiving a few hugs there. And will Ethan Ampadu be able to continue, or will he have to be brought off? Because for what it's worth, after Sorba Thomas, Wales have 2 substitutions left. Well, he's on the sidelines, having an energy bar. And now he's been brought back. Anthony Robinson now for the US.
Oh.
Matt Turner. Had a good game, has the Arsenal goalkeeper.
I think he's done
all right. No chance with the penalty. Made one pretty good save. And I'm sure the US will feel very hard done by indeed. And we do have a comment. I will get to that in a minute. Going to get a correct score. Yahoo. I think, did you predict a 1-1 draw, Chris? Because if you did, lucky
That's
you.
what he said at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah. So Connor Roberts now trying to cross it in. Wales do have the momentum, but the US have bodies at the back. More head tennis going on. And finally, it's an end to all of that with a throw-in. And Ampadu's limping. It might be time to bring him off. A lot of these Welsh fans having spent huge sums of money to come over here in their droves. Certainly won't get to drink any beer, have any beer in the stadium, but that will not stop them enjoying themselves and having a good time. Who needs
That's
alcohol?
for sure.
And it looks as though Wales are going to make another change. It will be Joe Morrell who will be coming on in the midfield to replace Ethan Ampadu. Sort of a like-for-like substitution there. Clearly some fresh legs are needed. Ampadu's run himself into the ground. And the US have been awarded a free kick with Haji Wright being fouled. So 4 minutes of stoppage time left, but we will assume that it could go to about 10 minutes of stoppage time and maybe a little bit more, but we will see. Adams takes that free kick across the field all the way to Walker Zimmerman. And DeAndre Yedlin now. Very unmistakable with that mop of platinum blonde dyed hair.
Yeah.
Zimmerman again. Aronson. And that is some good defensive work, but that leads to another throw-in taken quickly by Yedlin all the way to Tyler Adams, to Acosta, Robinson, Pulisic, who's still on the field, had a great game tonight from Chelsea's Captain America. And across the field all the way to Morris. Yedlin crosses it in. And Hennessy took a bit of a risk there by punching it away. Probably was a bit caught out of position there. And Robinson is able to find it, but that is cleared away. And that will harmlessly go out for a goal kick.
There's still a lot of time left in this game for a goal.
3 minutes, yes, and counting, it has to be said. So Nottingham Forest have been well represented tonight with Hennessy
especially
and
tonight.
Williams starting, and of course Brennan Johnson coming on. And certainly Johnson's substitution was the one which made all the difference, as did Kiefer Moore at half-time. So I will give Page props for that. But you would think that with 2 subs left, he could certainly try and bring on another couple if it meant either, managing the game or possibly trying to sneak a winner. Thomas now. He's been in good form for Huddersfield Town and can certainly swing a cross in or two. And did that go out of play? No, Tyler Adams kept it in place. So Yedlin now to Pulisic. Intercepted there, and Wales can clear their lines. Or can they? Yes, they can. It is with Thomas now. Down the left. Bale. All hail Bale. Davies to Mepham. To Thomas. Back to Davies. To Thomas again. Whips it in. Does it find Kiefer Moore? Yes, it does. Certainly held it down well enough, but wasn't able to get to that, and the US can clear. Robinson. And it's now Acosta for the US, but it once again goes back to Wales. It is with Aaron Ramsey now, and it is back with Gareth Bale. I don't know if Bale will shoot from there, but that was good work from the USA captain Tyler Adams to intercept that. And Wales, it's now Wales' turn to snap at the US's heels. 1 minute of added time left. You assume that there will be at least another minute added for the substitutions, at least. Adams now. From a Welsh point of view, they cannot afford to let their energy sap. They must stay strong and not make any mistakes. But the US is still young and hungry. Well, there's a stoppage of play over there. I wonder if it's going to be a Welsh or a US free kick. It looks as though it'll be a Welsh free kick. Actually, it isn't. It's being brought back into the American half for a US free kick. 10 seconds to go of the 9 minutes of added time. Will there be a winner? I think it looks as though both teams may be content with a draw, but one team can still snatch it. Tim Ream, Anthony Robinson, to Christian Pulisic, back to Robinson, back to Ream. And some more defending going on over there. Still Ream, still Robinson, who finally gets it up front. And did that go out of play? No, it didn't. Roberts invariably, sort of inexplicably kept that in. Aronson now to DeAndre Yedlin, who can whip in across. But Ramsey is able to snuff out the danger, almost. It's with Jordan Morris now. And Davies gets that and can clear. So, is Turner up front? Yes, he is. And heading that away, running halfway out of his half. But could there be a possible... Well, certainly Bale was spotted Turner off his line. He was hoping to try and chip the keeper, but Kellen said, "You're not going to do that today," and skied them down rather, cynically. And we've now gone into the 10th, 11th minute now of that time added on. A booking for Kellen Acosta. Will there be a final twist in the tale? Or will we see the first draw of this World Cup? So it's Sorba Thomas who will try and whip it in. Right-footed kick. Into the penalty area, but that is straight at Matthew Turner.
Oh,
and
the first draw.
Yep, the first draw indeed. So, a very intriguing game. St. Gareth to the rescue once again. And it's honours even at the end. So, full time.
I think
USA.
This brings like an interesting thing for the group, really, because obviously either of these teams you'd imagine will go through with England in the group on paper. So, and England's had the advantage, of course, now, but...
Right. So England obviously have the advantage, and obviously these teams' upcoming clashes against England will prove key, as with the clash against Iran. I do seem to remember, of course, Wales giving England a very severe run for their money, only for Marcus Rashford and Daniel Sturridge to pull the chestnuts out of the fire with a breathlessly late victory in Euro 2016.
Yep.
And of course, that Welsh team has seen quite a few players since then leave, but there's also a much changed England team, which look really, really good in attack. Maybe not so good in defence in comparison, but that's going to be an interesting watch. And of course, with tomorrow, of course, we'll see some interesting action, of course, between Lionel Messi and the Saudi Arabian team, which in theory, of course, are lambs to the slaughter, as they always are. But, you can't really discount any team. So once again, I will be on for the next 5 or 10 minutes or so. Any of you want to come on and have your say, by all means do so. But what a breathless game that was. How did you enjoy that?
Well, I just think it's quite nice watching a neutral match sometimes, because you can kind of enjoy it. Your heart's not really in one of the teams, if that makes sense. But I felt like I enjoyed the way the US played with the ball a lot. And you've at the same time, I've got to give credit to Wales not giving up ever. And I do think
Joel
the keeper more
TV. Hello, and Joel, what did you think of Matt Turner's performance tonight? You still think he's not good enough? Yeah, once again, the link is in the chat. Joel, you want to know my favorites for the World Cup? Not England. I would say Argentina, Brazil, and Germany. Right. So, yeah, you were saying, keep talking, Haz, if you want to say something.
But yeah, with Wales, the keeper more change I thought was massive, because it brought them up the pitch. And obviously he gave them a massive talking to at half-time, because it came in the second half with a lot more impetus and aggressiveness. I think they were very passive in the first half, Wales.
Yep.
And just let the USA play. And in the end, I think either team could have won the game.
Right. So it is full time, of course. And Wales are able to nick a point, of course. And, that was close to being saved, but I think the power from Bales's strike sort of took it beyond Turner before he could really get a hand to it. But
it was a good height for the keeper, but it was
it was at a good height, but the power sort of meant that it wouldn't really. Yeah, the power was a bit too much. So so it's all hotting up over here. Now we have the first draw, and you're seeing all of that, all of the stills over there. The anxiety of the Welsh supporters, the focus on the face of Bale, just above Matthew Turner in goal. And you can see the palpable relief on the faces of the Wales coaching staff and the joy among supporters. It's that man again, Gareth
Bale, yeah.
And everybody was saying at halftime he was having a very poor game, and there was
including
a
myself
prospect of him being brought off. But you just cannot keep the great man down. And we have some more comments over here. I will get to them right now. Well, yeah, Matt Turner wasn't that bad, to be fair. Come on, be more generous. Fine penalty from Bale. always having to stick up for Matt Turner. Arsenal fans need to grow up. Chris, listen, if you want to come on in and have your chat right now, we'll have a little bit of a talk about Matt Turner as much as you like. I know Haz might have to leave, but if you want to come on, click the link. It's in the chat. I want to talk to you. And I'm one of those people who has been sort of jury out when it comes to Matt Turner, because obviously I knew that he was the first choice goalkeeper for the US team, which won the CONCACAF Gold Cup. I think a lot of people have taken a look at his stats and said that because he concedes more than a goal a game on average, he can't be really that good. But sometimes stats don't really tell the whole story. He also was the MLS goalkeeper of the year, a member of that all-star team. So obviously Arsenal saw a lot in him. And they're showing the penalty incident again. It was a well-deserved penalty because that was even if you get the ball, you cannot go in with both your feet. And Zimmerman was indeed the guilty party. And you can see how much that meant to his teammates, his coaching staff, and the fans. We see the penalty again. Turner went the right way, but it was power and precision. And it's fair to say that if Turner had got a hand to that, the shot might probably have, broken his hand.
Yeah, it was a good game. And look, England is the top on 3 points, +4, and then you've got obviously Wales and USA on 1 point each, and Iran on 0. The next game, see Wales. I think Wales have a bit of an advantage though because they got Iran next. You'd think on paper Wales would beat Iran, but USA and England, I think it's a bit more even.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Obviously, Gareth Southgate will have to do his homework, and you could see the comparatively disconsolate faces on the USA squad. They knew how close they were to what would have been a magnificent win, but once again, Gareth bails out Wales. And the possession tells the story, 59% for the USA to 41 for Wales. 3 shots on target for Wales compared to 1 for the USA, though. 7 shots for Wales compared to 6 for the USA. A 76% pass accuracy for Wales compared to 87 for the USA. But the USA were a bit more the aggressive side, 4 yellow cards to Wales's 2. So I think it's fair to say that when you take a look at the shots on target, the USA only having the 1, which was, of course, Timothy Weah's goal, you could say that for all of the magnificent work they did, they just sort of lacked that quality in the final third. So apart from, that Weah goal, they were huffing and puffing, but just couldn't quite blow the house down.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it, actually. Yeah.
And obviously Wales were able to come back into the team, and I think, the US's inexperience probably cost them 2 points there. They played so well, and I think the youngsters would have been very disappointed indeed. So, of course, England sitting pretty at the top with a +4 goal difference, but the USA and Wales very much alive and kicking. And as you've said, Haz, the USA play England and Wales play Iran. The US-England game will be very interesting because that team, which is quite fast, I could certainly see the likes of Saka and maybe Phil Foden and Bellingham cancel them out. The Bellingham-Adams duel in the centre of midfield will be very impressive.
Interesting. Yeah.
I definitely do not see Southgate making any changes to that lineup, and thank the Lord for that. If it means
unless Maguire's got a knock because he came off, but I don't know.
So if Maguire has gotten a bit of a knock and cannot play, it could very well be down. I would like to see Connor Cody come in.
I would as well, but not Derek Dyer. You should know by now.
Yeah, I do. Confirmation of the table, of course. Iran sitting forlornly at the bottom with a -4 goal difference. And so Chris Mossing has a final thing. Arsenal fans just saying he cannot be good enough with his feet, but with Arsenal, he's going to be fine, has good hands, good aggression, and his footwork is getting a lot better. So, I would agree with you on that. 3 games tomorrow, of course, Argentina against Saudi Arabia, Denmark against Tunisia, and the evening game will be Mexico against Poland. For me, Argentina and Denmark should be easy wins, but Mexico and Poland could be quite interesting.
An interesting game.
What do you think, though? What do you think of those 3, though?
I mean, Argentina should beat Saudi Arabia tomorrow morning. If they don't, it'll be pretty. I mean, I have to admit, though, I don't know much about the Saudi Arabian side, But all I can tell you is I drew them my work sweepstakes, so I'm praying they get a result tomorrow morning.
Oh, you're in a tough position, mate. I have
Yeah,
to say.
yeah, it's the worst ranked
But
team in the tournament, by the way, Saudi Arabia.
yeah, but they have a record of being able to qualify for World Cups every 4 years, but then they come a cropper when the tournament proper gets underway, and
And you have Tunisia against
Denmark. So that should
Denmark.
be an easy win for Denmark as
Denmark
well.
should
But
win that
Tunisia,
game. Yeah.
yeah. And then, of course, Mexico and Poland should be interesting. I have Mexico beating Poland by a score of 2-1 because Poland also have a rather sad knack
Yeah.
of doing well in the qualifiers, but not really doing well in the tournament.
Isn't there 4
A
games
lot of
tomorrow? Am I
dependent.
wrong?
No, there are 3 tomorrow, and the other game will be on. There will
Are
be
you
one
sure?
more game on Thursday. On Tuesday, obviously. So
Okay, hold on. Are you sure?
yeah, you can check your schedule if you don't believe me. There are only 3 today.
What's going? That's as in
Oh.
tomorrow. I mean.
Oh yeah, there probably will be 4.
No,
because
France
lost.
Australia is at 7:00.
Oh right, yeah.
So that's going to be like the game of the day because France, I guess, they won the last World Cup. So
France will be lucky that they're coming up against an Australia team which is also very, very inexperienced. They've also dropped a lot of their more experienced players in favor of youth. And once again, Chris Mossing, Mexico, Poland going to be tasty. A battle for second place in that group. You had 1-1.
Saturday at 4:00. Oh, that's a very tasty game. Sorry, I'm just looking at the fixtures. Saturday's fixtures look very good.
Yeah, but Chris is predicting a 2-1 win for Poland. I'm going for Mexico to win 2-1.
I think I agree with him. I think Poland will win 2-1.
No, but there's going to be too much dependence on Robert Lewandowski, and if he is unable to get the supply he needs and getting behind the defense, it could be quite difficult. And of course, Mexico do have Guillermo Ochoa still in top form, so that will be a good contest for sure.
The French in the afternoon is going to be very interesting. On Saturday, 4:00 is France Denmark, and then 7:00 is Argentina Mexico. Oh, that's going to be 2 feisty games.
Oh, Mexico Argentina, that will be definitely feisty.
That's an evening on Saturday.
If Argentina aren't careful, that could very well be a banana skin for them. Definitely.
I'm just looking at the fixtures. That's very interesting. The Saturday, Sunday, Spain, Germany, obviously 7:00 on the Sunday. It's going to be really good.
Yep, absolutely.
Friday, obviously, you've got England, USA. Qatar, Senegal, Netherlands, Ecuador. I don't know. Brazil's first game's against Serbia. At least that's in the evening on Thursday. I want to watch Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil might be good. I have to make sure that my subscription's still working. But hey, once again, another breathless day of World Cup football, and
it's going to get more and more each day. It's 4 games a day for the first couple of weeks, I think.
Yep, and the worst part is that for the last week or so of the group stages, it's effectively it's effectively 2 games at the same time. So while the US while England will be playing Wales, the US will be playing Iran at the same time. So I don't know if I'll be able to cover both of them.
Multi-screen,
yeah. So, but I think they will probably intersperse some highlights from the other games.
So I'll tell you a funny story. In Euro 2004, so I'm Greek, and Euro 2004, obviously, we won the Euros, right?
Yep.
So what we used to do, we used to have like a really small TV whenever we used to use. But then when the Euros or the World Cup would start, my mum would bring down the small TV, link it to like another cable. So we'd have both games on at the same time. You know, the last group games. Yeah. So, yeah. But I don't know about now because, I don't know, maybe I'll have to... I don't know. I don't know if the pubs will show both games at the same time. I imagine they will.
Yeah, but the problem is, like where I am now, there's only one channel which is hosting.
Really? Oh, so you have to pick between the 2, I guess.
I mean, they pick between the 2, and I don't know what's going to happen with me. But you know, obviously, I think they're probably going to show the US England game because that has a lot more the Wales England game rather because that will have more traction than the US Iran game that day. But you know, it is what it is. So I think no one's really willing to join the chat. So in about 2 minutes, I will obviously want to.
Yeah, I'll have to head off as well anyway. But I just didn't want to leave by yourself. So yeah.
No, it's all good, but it's all good. It's all good. I mean, I'm happy to have had you as company. I'm happy that we've been in sync. I'm happy that the commentary I was able to do was, for the most part, spot on. Once again, I struggle with trying to comment on the game and manage the ticker at the same time, but it is what it is. So this is the headline:
So
USA
is
1,
this
Wales
a
1.
nightly thing then? You're going to be doing, you guys, or?
No, we basically we're going to be doing watch-alongs for as many games as possible. I believe we're trying
Yeah.
to do 2 or 3 watch-alongs a day, maybe 2 a day. I've also got to do watch-alongs for another channel, which is
Oh,
going to
really?
be,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so you could say you can find me here, there, and everywhere. And
Yeah. So
but
I'm
this
not like taking a break. I'm probably going to do about 1 video a week. It might not even be a stream, just like an update of what the Spurs players are doing in the World Cup. So
Yeah,
maybe I
that'll
might
be good. That'll be good.
those.
And I'm also
Yeah.
doing a series with, of course, UTC IAD, up the cherries in all departments. It's called World Cup Cherries. Our next episode might be sometime later on this week, so do watch out for that if we are shooting. But until then, thanks a lot for coming in.
And thanks
And
for having me on.
now hold on a minute.
Yeah.
I am going to give you the full stream so
Okay.
you can shout out your channels and tell everyone where they can find you.
Okay, so when the season comes back, you can find me on Hasper TV. And also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Hasper92. And if you don't already subscribe to this channel as well, please subscribe to Hannah's channel too. Right,
That's
thank you.
wonderful. Wonderful, mate. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And of course, as
And
I
I don't
bid
know,
you
Benny, you
adieu.
don't have your own channel, do you? I don't think, do you?
No, not yet. But
No,
again,
okay.
of course, you could find me very much here on the Coach's Corner. I will be continuing to do watch-alongs. We might also do some review shows and analysis of this channel. In fact, we're also working closely with another channel, Oris Talks Football.
Yeah, I
You know
saw
that
that.
channel well. So both of them basically are sort of combining as much as possible. As for me, I don't have a channel of my own, but you can catch me on social media. Thangadurai 1981 on Twitter and Manny Thangadurai 1981 on Instagram. And just a few more channels on YouTube. I already mentioned a few of them. And shout out as well to everyone who's come into the chat. Chris Mossing, Del Boy Gunner TV, Joel Gunner TV, Chelsea fan, and APK Karthi and Kumaran. Thanks a lot for joining. I know I see some Tamil connection over there. I'd love to have a chat with you sometime. Craig Malloy, of course. Thanks a lot for coming in. Football Ferreira, Ishank Bangarwa. I got your name right. Ensman TV. Everyone who's come in. True Gunner, of course, at the very beginning. If after this I've missed any of you, I will send you a
Craig
check in the
AFC, I think you did them, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I
Ensman
mentioned
TV.
him. Craig Malloy.
Yeah.
Craig Malloy is his real
Oh,
name,
right.
but
Okay.
he goes by Craig AFC on YouTube. So at this juncture, there's nothing more to say. Thanks a lot for joining in. We will see you all tomorrow. Certainly with the Argentina-Saudi Arabia game. Definitely looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing Lionel Messi weave his magic around the hapless men from the desert.
But... yeah.
And I mean, maybe you don't, so you probably wouldn't want to join the watch along, yeah?
Oh, no, I'll be at work, unfortunately. So, but it's, you know what I find very strange is like I was listening, like I said, to the radio on the way back from and they mentioned, the coverage for Saudi Arabia against Argentina will start at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and it's just so strange to hear because obviously most of the time, unless it's like the weekend games, the coverage starts from like 6 or 7. Do you know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like the first coverage is at 9 a.m. It's like it's crazy, isn't it? Really.
Agreed, indeed. So, I mean, obviously the timing doesn't really work well for you. It works somewhat okay for me, except I have to stay up for a little bit longer. But it is what it is. I'm really happy to be doing this. So once again, Hasper, thank you very much indeed for coming along.
Thanks for
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to the return clash between Tottenham and Arsenal at White Hart Lane.
I have to get on my channel before that because that's the 5th. Is it the 15th of January or something like that? I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
maybe
we need to get you on my channel for that.
Definitely. Just send me an invitation and I will definitely look to join you.
Yeah.
But until then, thanks a lot to all of you for watching.
Yeah,
Thank you all for joining in. And I will look to see you all tomorrow again. But until then, take care of yourselves. Have a good night. Stay safe. Don't do anything either Haz or me wouldn't do.
Yeah.
And until next time, we're out, peeps.